Merry Christmas, everybody. My name is Nikos, and welcome back to the channel where we deep dive into shooters that everyone cherishes, but nobody plays anymore. Since it's getting colder out, I figured it was time for another Iceberg video. We already did one on Helldivers and another one on Halo, and since my Call of Duty retrospective videos have had such a positive reception, I figured it was time to do one on this juggernaut of a shooter franchise. The iceberg chart used in this video is linked below in the description, and the creator combines multiple iceberg charts together. This includes an iceberg from Pigpen, who also explains icebergs on YouTube, as well as other iceberg authors online. Links below for all their stuff. The author also added additional content, and I even added over 100 entries of my own, meaning every Call of Duty iceberg is personalized. And I chose to split this video in half, since producing this video has been so friggin' time consuming. You're gonna have to expect a sequel video coming in the near future. Alright, let's dive into roughly 500 entries on what makes Call of Duty so strange and awesome at the same time. We're starting off at level 1. You'll know almost all of these. Warzone. This is the big one. Warzone is the free-to-play battle royale mode that took the internet by storm in 2020 during the great pandemic. It took over streaming, and millions of players became addicted to the mode for the next few years. This was Activision's answer to Fortnite. It was very successful for the studio, but over the years it has since helped contribute to a battle royale fatigue within the industry, and also a minor source of controversy between Call of Duty fans who wish for a return of focus to classic multiplayer. Black Ops 7 trailer controversy. The Black Ops 7 reveal trailer was unveiled at the Xbox Game Showcase in 2024, and it got tons of hate. This is in part due to the announcer hyping up a franchise that's been with us a while, or so he said. And then they closed out the show with yet another Black Ops game, only 1 year after the previous Black Ops. There is generally a ton of Call of Duty fatigue right now, and so fans and casual players alike were frustrated at the perceived lack of innovation within the franchise, as well as the reuse of decade-old characters due to the team's inability to create new, quality narratives. Many were left not pleased seeing David Mason and Menendez after their original story concluded 13 years ago, and many thought Black Ops 7 was a lazy cash grab, resulting in hundreds of thousands of dislikes on the YouTube trailer, as well as the most controversial Call of Duty launch in a long time. It is Christmas, y'all, which means I come with gifts, and I don't just mean this insanely long iceberg video. And since I'm not getting paid by Activision to make this video, I also come with some free rewards from Watcher of Realms. Thanks to Watcher of Realms for sponsoring this video. Their support greatly helps me keep this channel running. If you're into fantasy RPG games that merge universes together, then Watcher of Realms is for you. There's a wide variety of heroes that include samurai, dragons, Dracula, and even Sun Wukong from the game Black Myth Wukong. This game is chock full of high-fidelity animations and character designs. It's Giftacular season. Players who log in every day and take part in festive-themed in-game events can earn up to 123 summoning crystals alongside a slew of other rewards, including Christmas skins, legendary soul stones, unique gifts on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, and more. And while you're at it, you can redeem the gift code GET10 free draws immediately to claim 10 free gacha pulls. 3 new heroes from the North Throne just dropped, including Rivenhald, a support character specializing in increasing your team's max HP and damage output, Cadgrim, a defensive tank capable of crowd control and shielding abilities to protect the entire team, and Adrian, an AoE-centric warrior with high HP. He possesses strong shields that can be converted into bonus damage, making him a sort of Swiss Army knife jack of all trades. Watcher of Realms' high strategic gameplay is available on PC and mobile devices. The game is home to over 200 heroes across 10 different factions, meaning there are endless tactical combinations. Precise unit placement, effective management of deployment costs, and strategic timing of skills during real-time battles results in victory. The core mechanics provide a depth that makes for an experience that is more than your average strategy RPG. And new players can easily catch up with veterans thanks to the game's user-friendly design, which includes background auto fights and custom gear enhancement tools. Experience the PvE mode complete with boss fights, or join up with other players in guild versus guild battles. Right now is the best time to dive into Watcher of Realms. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code to download Watcher of Realms for free now on PC, Android, and iOS. And don't forget to redeem the gift code GET10 free draws right away to test your luck. Thanks again to Watcher of Realms for sponsoring this video. Alright, back to the Iceberg. Nuketown. This is the most iconic multiplayer map in Call of Duty, and perhaps in all of gaming. The map was introduced in Call of Duty Black Ops, and it's set in a nuclear test site themed around a town from the 50s in the middle of a Nevada desert. This was a perfect inclusion thematically, as Black Ops was set in the Cold War, an era haunted by the fears of nuclear warfare. This fan-favorite map has since been remade several times, in Black Ops 2, 3, 4, 6, and Black Ops 7 has gotten the most recent iteration. The map has even appeared in mobile Call of Duty games, and even in a handful of the Black Ops games' Zombies modes, as well as Black Ops 4's very own Blackout Battle Royale mode. It's a nearly perfect, addicting map, which explains why it's been remade so many times, to the point to where it's been remade in real life as a paintball arena. Yeah, there's been paintball arenas, I'm pretty sure there's one or more at least, that have rebuilt the town, thrown buses in the center, and squared players off against each other. I gotta tell you, I kinda wanna visit one of these paintball arenas, if only because playing paintball on this map I've been on for decades on video games would be pretty trippy. Modern Warfare 2007 and 2 remasters. Both the first and second Modern Warfare games have been remastered, though the second game's remaster doesn't include a multiplayer mode, while the first one does. Prestige. Call of Duty introduced Prestige mode in COD 4. Whenever you reach max rank in multiplayer, you have the option to reset yourself back to level 1, with all your weapons and challenges completely reset. While this does reset all of your progress, there are typically a lot of cosmetic unlocks and bonuses that encourage players to take it on and start back from zero, and it's also a bit of a flex. Especially when there's 10 levels of Prestige. Well, typically there's 10, sometimes there's even more. You always knew you were in for a rough time when you saw someone with the 10th Prestige emblem in Modern Warfare 2. As soon as you saw that enter the lobby and in the leaderboard, you knew you were cooked. The numbers.
Numbers are real. They've always been real, Mason. This isn't a game. We face annihilation unless you cooperate. Where is the broadcast station?
So in case you've been living under a rock the past 20 years, the central plot of Call of Duty Black Ops involves a numbers station that is used by the Soviets to direct sleeper agents throughout America to attack their country from within. The protagonist, Alex Mason, was captured by the Cubans in the botched Bay of Pigs invasion, where he was sent to a Soviet gulag and was embedded with the number codes. The main plot of the campaign surrounds the mystery of these numbers, where they're being broadcast from, and what the codes themselves mean. The campaign is one of, if not the best in the franchise, and fans parrot the numbers, what do they mean?" quote that Hudson repeats throughout the story ad nauseum. And I think this repetition is kind of the reason why the numbers meme caught on. In fact, I feel like all Call of Duty memes are memes due to repetition and how much they're repeated throughout the game's stories. Microtransactions. Here we go. The biggest controversy persisting across the entire franchise. It began with fan frustration surrounding paid downloadable maps and got worse and worse with a whole purchasable weapon in Black Ops 2. But this was just the start. Modern Call of Duty is inundated by battle passes, predatory microtransactions, and crossover cosmetic packs featuring popular franchises and celebrities. Some of these are absolutely ridiculous. We'll be getting into more of them soon. Infinite Warfare trailer controversy. Oh, I remember this one. This was a big moment on the internet. Back in 2016, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare's reveal trailer dropped, and it went on to get obliterated in the public reception department. It suffered from an insane dislike ratio. It was one of the most disliked videos on the entire platform for some time. Fans were disappointed by the overly futuristic setting of the game. There was a fatigue since most Call of Duty games at the time were futuristic, where fans were kinda sick of this setting, and now they were getting sent directly into space with space combat. So Most fans just looked at it and they were kind of angry, to be honest. Starships and interplanetary warfare seemed to be a step too far for fans, who launched a massive hate campaign across the internet. Despite this, the game would still go on to be remembered fondly by fans for its high-quality story mode, and some often look at Infinite Warfare's campaign and think back to how good it actually was. 1v1 me on Rust. Modern Warfare 2's Rust map is legendary. It's a small square arena that is remembered for not just its quality as a good map, but also its great size for head-to-head 1 versus 1 gunfights. This is where gentlemen dueled to resolve disagreements. Back in the day, a 1v1 on Rust, either with intervention quickscopes or throwing knives only, was the only way to truly determine who has the most skill. Therefore, people were spamming this in like lobbies everywhere. I remember specifically watching a friend get dragged into a 1v1 with someone he was trash talking with on like the enemy team. And so they ran Rust like 3 times in a row, and they said some vile stuff to each other, man. It was the most toxic Call of Duty 1v1 I've ever seen. PPSH-41. The Soviet PPSH-41 submachine gun is iconic. Nicknamed Papasha by its users in World War II, which translates from Russian to daddy, it was regaled as an effective weapon owed to its efficient production, and when included with its drum magazine, offered a remarkable ammo capacity and fire rate. In Call of Duty World at War, it was relentlessly overpowered, useful in both campaign and multiplayer, and absolutely essential in the zombies mode. It was legendary, and if you managed to pack-a-punch it, it would absolutely shred. Task Force 141. The British Spec Ops team Task Force 141 is one of the main factions from Call of Duty. They're a multinational coalition of SAS operatives, Russian loyalists, Americans, and more, unified with the goal of finding and killing Makarov. They were featured for the first time in Modern Warfare 2 and stuck to the Modern Warfare games for the most part.
Knife the watermelon. Nice! Your fruit killing skills are remarkable.
This is a quote said by Gaz in the COD 4 tutorial when he instructs you to knife a watermelon. And so is...
Remember, switching to your pistol is always faster than reloading.
This has become a sort of shooter game meme. Gaz tells the player this in the COD 4 tutorial, and it's really good advice for these early COD games, as reloading could be really time consuming and prove deadly in a desperate situation. Activision, I'm not gonna say that, assault allegations. In 2021, allegations of, within Activision Blizzard broke and drove tons of controversy within the studio. Women within the company allegedly faced unequal pay as well as a hostile work environment. Google it if you want more in-depth information. It was a massive controversy that hit world news and ultimately resulted in shifts around the Activision workforce as well as a multi-million-dollar settlement. It goes without saying this was a very bad look for Activision and Call of Duty as a whole. Shepard's betrayal. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 offers one of the most iconic Call of Duty story modes of all time. The fantastical alternate modern timeline leads up to one of the biggest twists in gaming. General Shepard is the leader of the American forces and Task Force 141 throughout the campaign. And upon 141's retrieval of data that incriminates Shepard as a traitor who helped lay the foundation for a Russian invasion of the United States, Shepard betrays the protagonist, Roach, as well as the fan favorite Ghost, in the most tragic gaming betrayal of all time.
You have the DSL. We got it, sir.
Good. That's one less loose end.
No!
People freaking hated Shepard back in the day, man. Trick shots. A once turbo viral part of the COD community is the trick shot side of it. These mad lads used to run nothing but interventions and throwing knives to farm for clips to slap MLG logos and tank edits onto. but they've since grown up to be 9 to 5 dads. While much of the OGs have grown out of their trick-shotting days, many from the younger generation still continue to try pulling off nutty cross-map Simtex multis. But it hasn't been the same. Back in the day, those early trickshot compilations, you just had to be there. SAS. The British Special Air Service is an elite force of British commandos established in 1941 during World War II. They are the protagonist faction from COD 4 and return from time to time throughout the Call of Duty series. John Price. Captain John Price is the most iconic Call of Duty character of all time. His call sign is Bravo 6, and he first appeared in COD 4 Modern Warfare as a British officer in the SAS. After stopping Zakhaev's plan to fire Russian nukes at the United States, he fought alongside TF-141 in Modern Warfare 2, where he helped kill Shepard after his betrayal. Then he went off the grid due to his disavowal and ultimately ended World War III by killing Makarov. This led to great loss of his team and his closest friends, as he was pretty much the only man left in the entire organization. He's most notable for his legendary mustache and boonie hat, and he's voiced by Billy Murray. He's also featured in the Modern Warfare reboot as one of the main characters. COD Mobile. This is the mobile gaming side of Call of Duty. The app version is free, and it was released in 2019 with Tencent Games as its developer. To be honest with you, way back when it released, I played it, and it's pretty fun. Though, admittedly, it has insane levels of aim assist because, you know, it's a phone game. You're playing with your thumbs. But I have to say, I still miss the original mobile zombies games. Like, Activision, why did you have to take them from us, man? Create a class. Oh yeah. I love create a class. This feature is staple in Call of Duty, and it started with COD 4. It allowed players to build their own loadouts with 2 weapons, 3 perks, some grenades, and weapon camos and attachments. You usually only have 5 slots available in the older games, where you can only have 5 classes at a time, but later on in the series, you could start gaining more create a class slots as you prestiged. Later on, though, it was expanded significantly to where everyone had 10 class slots available by default. The create a class feature is key to Call of Duty's massive success. It allowed players to customize and play the game however they see fit with any of the weapons they like the most. Shipment. This is the Thunderdome of Modern Warfare. Shipment is a tiny square map. It's basically a pit full of storage containers, and it's been remade because the map is so legendary and is such a fan favorite. The map itself has even been recreated by fans in Battlefield 6 as well, which led to some controversy where Activision tried to... I can't believe I'm saying this, but they tried to threaten litigation at Battlefield fans for making maps in a different game. I can't believe this. Vanguard Zombies launch. Call of Duty Vanguard is a bad game. I've never played it. I'm just quoting what the fanbase thinks about it. I heard it was bad, I heard it was buns, and I ran for the hills. I took one whiff of the terrible reviews and knew not to play Sledgehammer's laughable excuse for a World War II game. And the Zombies mode sucks too. Zombies fans did not enjoy this one. It was panned by both critics and fans alike. The mode departed from the traditional round-based zombies and failed to effectively reinvent the mode. Further, the mode also didn't even launch alongside the game at release. It was just a complete cluster and a huge disaster. Vanguard. Oh, while we're on the topic of Vanguard zombies, let's talk about Vanguard itself. The campaign mode is terrible. Everyone thinks this game as a whole is a complete disaster. If anything, I think it probably is the worst Call of Duty game. Far worse than Black Ops 7, because in my humble opinion, and in many other fans' opinions, Black Ops 7's multiplayer is actually really fun. Transit. Transit is one of the most played zombies maps of all time since it shipped on COD Black Ops 2. It was an ambitious addition to the zombies game mode. The map was essentially a bunch of several smaller zombies maps tied together by a bus route. Transit is incredibly controversial for a number of annoying and unfriendly mechanics, as well as a terrible wonder weapon. But the map has its fans as well, with many claiming that they like the map very much. I think that might be nostalgia talking. If you go back and play the map yourself, it's really not good. But I will say I do still have nostalgia for this map. I know, that sounds crazy. How could you have nostalgia for a map you dislike? Well, as a kid, I didn't really like Transit, but I was just happy to be playing a new zombies map. I have a whole rant in my Black Ops 2 retrospective video I put out a few months ago that explains why I think this map is an objective failure. But it's reported that many of Transit's problems are actually due to hardware limitations on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, which forced the inclusion of many of these limiting mechanics, as the original intentions for Transit weren't fully realized. No Russian. No Russian is the most controversial campaign mission of all time. It's a level so controversial, it went all over the news. This level has you, an American undercover agent, embedding with Russian extremists led by Makarov to launch a terrorist attack on a Russian airport. This has the player's allies gunning down innocent civilians, and the game doesn't punish you for joining in on the massacre. It's an utterly insane scene that lives on in infamy in gaming legend. That goes to show Call of Duty was once interested in causing controversy and pushing the public's buttons. To this day, I still don't understand why the developers even made this level. It makes sense narratively, but I feel like they could have done many other different story beats that would have shown Makarov to be evil aside from this. This has since become a huge meme as well. Everyone references No Russian, and it is a cult classic. 3-lane map design. Call of Duty maps steadily began to be constructed around a lazy formula known simply as 3-lane map design. This concentrates firefights down 3 paths along each side of a map. This has become an unfortunate trend in not just Call of Duty, but a lot of shooters. You can really find this trend in multiplayer map design in many of the biggest franchises lately, which has caused a lot of multiplayer fatigue. However, in Black Ops 7, there has been a bit of a shift away from this classic 3-lane map design, thankfully making the maps feel a bit more enjoyable. Shock and Awe. Shock and Awe is a level from COD 4 Modern Warfare. It is memorable for a very shocking ending scene. The main objective is for the Marines to capture a dictator named Al-Assad to end the war in an unnamed, fictitious Middle Eastern country. The plan goes awry when, as the mission comes to a close, a nuclear bomb is detonated within the city.
Nuclear threat in the city. Test teams are on site and attempting to disarm. I repeat. Everyone hang on!
This was a huge subversion of expectations. Typically, you would expect the player to make it out unharmed or at least alive, but the fact that the nuke takes down your chopper as well as everyone around you it left a huge impression. And not just because of this scene, but the following level, called Aftermath, this one is chilling.
Flash, NBC-1 nuclear, Bravo, NB062634, Charlie, 90-degree grid, hotel, surface, Juliet, 90 seconds.
Detonation detected. Fallout predicted within a radius of 7.4 miles. Epicenter.
You're the only survivor in the rubble of your helicopter crash, and you're left to crawl out into the debris field where you see nothing but bodies, destruction, an orange haze in the sky, and a giant mushroom cloud. Behind you, you can hear the radio babbling on. You can hear American communications discussing whatever the hell just happened. And as you crawl towards the playground, you can hear the ghostly cries of children having a good time and just enjoying themselves. It's a really dark and haunting moment in Call of Duty, and I think this is where Call of Duty Modern Warfare, at least the early games, they began to show their teeth and show that they actually had some very wild story beats that they wanted to show the fans and immerse them within. So yeah, I think both these levels live up to the name Shock and Awe. The archetypes. Wow, I never got this deep into Black Ops 4, but from what I've researched, The archetypes are a group of resurrected Black Ops 1 and 2 characters featured in the Specialist HQ. Now what's weird is they take part in the lore of Black Ops 4's Blackout mode. Yeah, you heard that right. The Battle Royale mode has lore. I mean, I guess Warzone does too, but this is Blackout. This is a different story. And they're not virtual copies or holograms. These archetypes are quite literally physical resurrections of Mason, Woods, Reznov, Menendez, and Hudson. Interesting. Where's my boy Bowman at, though? They've all been cloned by Savannah Mason for unknown reasons. I guess they're just here for fan service, to be honest with you. Blackout's lore, as well as all of Black Ops 4's lore, is just kind of absurd, considering there's not even a campaign in the game. I think this was the moment that Treyarch started to just get high and, you know, throw good writing out the window completely. Kill streaks. Oh yeah, kill streaks are iconic in Call of Duty. They started in Call of Duty 4. If players managed to get multiple kills without dying, they'd receive a powerful reward. COD 4 had 3 kill streaks. At 3 kills in a row, you got a UAV. At 5, you could call in an airstrike. And at 7, you were granted an attack helicopter. These kill streaks could upset the balance of a game. And they really hit their stride in Modern Warfare 2, where players could select up to 3 from a list of dozens of potential kill streak rewards. Now, in future games, these kill streaks were retooled into score streaks, where you could contribute to your streak by playing the objective, which I suppose is a good change, but also kind of removes the aura of the kill streak a little bit. Kill streak just sounds so much cooler, and the fact you have to like actually slay people to get the kill streaks, it was really rewarding. COD 4 really did revolutionize the series with create a class and kill streaks, which really made the multiplayer feel insanely rewarding and addicting. This was ground zero for what became the Call of Duty franchise and what made it so huge. These two mechanics. Black Ops 4 no campaign. An oddity in the Call of Duty franchise, Black Ops 4 features no campaign mode. It instead offers its new Blackout mode, alongside multiplayer and zombies. From my research, I've found that Treyarch never had a campaign mode fully planned. They were allegedly focused entirely on multiplayer and cooperative experiences, which was likely an answer to Fortnite at the time. Soccer. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 Warzone featured a hidden soccer minigame in the Verdansk Stadium, complete with a scoreboard that allowed you and your friends, or enemies, to host healthy soccer tournaments. Time Paradox. This is a secret Easter egg achievement added to Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. There's a scene in the original COD 4 Modern Warfare where Price and McMillan are on Overwatch trying to assassinate the game's villain, Zakhaev. And in Modern Warfare 3, this scene is reproduced, but instead we see Makarov alongside Yuri in one of the Jeeps. To enhance continuity, they put both of these two characters within one of the Jeeps in the remaster of the game, considering those two characters were originally there in Modern Warfare's lore. If you shoot and kill both Makarov and Zakhaev, then you essentially killed both of the Modern Warfare series' villains, and you earn a special achievement called Time Paradox, where you effectively change the future. Dead cows. Cows and dead cows are seen tons of times as both set dressing and Easter eggs throughout the Call of Duty franchise. Since the first game, cow corpses are present, and in the credits of both Call of Duty 1 and 2, it reads, "No cows were harmed in the making of this game." They also appear in the Modern Warfare series, World at War, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, Ghosts, and MW 2019. And there's even a giant cow Easter egg in Call of Duty United Offensive if you use cheats, which is supposedly a reference to SNL's More Cowbell meme. Nuke. Modern Warfare 2 implemented the ultimate kill streak. After pulling off 25 kills in a row without dying, players could call in a tactical nuke, which kills the entire lobby and wins your team the game instantly. Ghost is alive. Ghost is a British Special Forces operator in Task Force 141. His awesome voice is featured throughout the games as well. The TF-141 multiplayer announcer and Spec Ops announcer both share Ghost's voice. He is killed by General Shepard, angering gamers everywhere, which likely caused tons of fans to feel denial, refusing to accept his death. Many claimed he's still alive, and he definitely is in the Modern Warfare remakes of the 2020s, but in the original games, the only way to prevent his death is with cheats. Camping. Camping is an elite strategy in shooter games everywhere that everyone has been guilty of at some point in their life. Especially if they kill me. Essentially, one must find a good overlook or corner to hide in, and shoot everything that passes by without moving. You're a pansy if you spend the whole game in one spot, and players won't hesitate to hunt you down and let you know that. Extinction Egg Hunt. Wow, this is actually a throwback. Extinction is a mode in Call of Duty Ghosts that I played only really once, but I actually enjoyed it. I didn't play it again because I just didn't have the game. It's sort of like zombies. Players team up in co-op to fend off waves of alien-like creatures in an apocalyptic setting. But what I didn't know is that there are actually a lot of Easter eggs littered throughout the Extinction maps that harken back to the zombies Easter eggs. Ray Gun in Campaign. In Call of Duty World at War, you can actually use the ray gun in Campaign. How, you ask? On the mission Little Resistance, if you hop in the puddles of the beach in a specific sequence and wait patiently, a group of statues will rise out of the ground and offer you a ray gun to use against the Japanese soldiers defending the island. This Easter egg blew my mind as a kid when my friend first showed it to me, because I thought for sure he was yanking my chain with the whole dumb puddle jumping. But then ray guns came out of the ground and I lost my mind. It was insane. Avenged Sevenfold. The metal band Avenged Sevenfold is featured throughout the Call of Duty series, prominently through Easter egg songs within the Zombies games, but they make an exclusive appearance as an after-credits music video at the end of Black Ops 2, where they rock on alongside Menendez and Woods. Zombie Easter egg quests. Call of Duty Zombies has featured Easter eggs since the beginning, but starting in Der Riese and World at War, complicated, multi-step puzzles have challenged and fascinated players. They add lore to the Zombies timeline and even drop awesome rewards for the players if they manage to pull them off. Players have since expected high-quality Easter egg puzzles in every Zombies map. It's essentially been established that Easter egg quests are a criteria in players' reviews of each map. It is a necessity that a map has a good Easter egg. Retro games in Nuketown. In Nuketown 2025 from Black Ops 2, there's an Easter egg where if you shoot all the heads off the mannequins within 2 minutes of match start, you can play classic Atari games on the screen in the middle of the map. They include Pitfall, Hero, Kaboom, and River Raid. This is actually a really awesome Easter egg, to be honest with you. But this isn't going to be the only time we'll be mentioning Easter eggs on Nuketown, as each of the Nuketown iterations have offered a variety of different Easter eggs. Drone training. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare has a number of training modes, one of which is drone training. I never knew about this because I've never played Advanced Warfare's campaign, but you can use an aerial drone to eliminate targets in order to set a high score. From what I've seen online, fans have discussed that the drone training is easily missable as many players seem to just not even notice it and bypass it completely. Brick Blaster. The Brick Blaster is a hidden weapon in Call of Duty 4. If you use console commands, you can equip it yourself. It takes the model of a USP-45 pistol, but it fires cinder blocks instead of traditional bullets. It appears to actually do damage as well, which I'm sure could make for a goofy PvP mode if you could get you and a bunch of your friends to equip it in multiplayer. Black Ops 2 weapons in Black Ops 7. I love this detail from Black Ops 7's multiplayer. Both the Peacekeeper and the PDW SMG are reincarnated from Black Ops 2 into the most modern Call of Duty. But not just those, also the MSMC, TAC-45, and M8 make their return. And while we're on this topic, 3 absolutely solid Black Ops 2 multiplayer maps also return in BO7. Second Revelations cutscene. The final Zombies map in Black Ops 3, Revelations, plays out an Easter egg cutscene that offers an ending to the Zombies lore. For the time being. Anyway, the Iceberg itself mentions that there is a popular theory involving a secret alternate ending to Revelations. This stems from an encrypted cutscene found within the game's files. Players began speculating on a potential secret alternate ending, but it ended up that there were no Easter egg steps you could pull off to find a secret alternate ending, as this encrypted file was just a duplicate of the Shadows of Evil intro cutscene, not some mysterious, unknown secret ending. AI calling cards controversy. Black Ops 6 introduced AI-generated art in the form of unlockable calling cards. This got tons of hate from around the internet, and it appears Activision has now doubled down in Black Ops 7 by adding more grok-generated slop. Fans and casuals alike have ridiculed Activision for its laziness by having AI generate lackluster, uncreative art for players to work for and unlock. Yuri cameo. This Easter egg in Modern Warfare 2 Remastered is actually really awesome. It's downright diabolical work. Yuri in Modern Warfare 3, turns out he was working with Makarov. Well, he was, until he was betrayed. He was shot and gravely wounded in a parking garage by Makarov right outside of Zakhaev International Airport. And this is the scene of the terrorist attack featured in No Russian. After he's been wounded, we control Yuri as he attempts to stop the massacre at the airport. What's really awesome is, although he wasn't a character when Modern Warfare 2 released, and thus he wasn't present in the original No Russian, in the remake of the game, Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered, he's been added as a character who is limping, wounded, mere yards behind you, as well as your entire team in No Russian. It is downright insane that they added him from the Modern Warfare 3 scene into this remaster. This enhances the overall continuity of the story and is an awesome Easter egg detail that really adds a bit more spice to the story. Pawn Takes Pawn. Pawn Takes Pawn was an alternate reality game marketing campaign used to promote Black Ops Cold War. It sent players on quests throughout many of the games and onto the website pawntakespawn.com in order to solve a puzzle. And by puzzle, it was a pretty long puzzle, with multiple phases and updates, including ciphers and more. Successful resolution of the 2020 ARG resulted in the reveal of Black Ops Cold War to the fanbase. Trench Bunker. In Modern Warfare 2019, there's a tiny map for 2v2 game modes called Trench. It was added in Season 4, and there's a locked bunker on one side of the map. The bunker actually has hidden functionality. If you look around the map, you can find the code to unlock the bunker door. If you shoot the keys on the pin pad to input this secret code, you are granted entrance to a furnished bunker complete with a minigun-wielding teddy bear. Reused weapon assets. Many Call of Duty games reuse weapon models and assets between similar or sequel games. Modern Warfare weapons return in Modern Warfare 2 with identical assets, and World at War weapons also return in Black Ops within a mission in the campaign. Verdansk. Verdansk is the capital city of the fictional ex-Soviet nation called Kastovia. This city is the site to the Warzone game mode and is beloved by Warzone fans as it combines urban areas with mountainous vistas. It was a really fun map for some time, and no other Warzone map has since topped it. The fans love Verdansk. There's also a lot of references to previous Call of Duty games, including the Gulag and Scrapyard from Modern Warfare 2. Sections of the map were also cleverly reused for the Ground War mode and Spec Ops missions. Sympathy for the Devil. In Call of Duty Black Ops, Mason searches the Nung River in Laos for Nova 6 during the Vietnam War. At the start of the mission, the song Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones plays as you boat upstream. It's a fitting track for a fitting scene that is reminiscent of Apocalypse Now's portrayal of American forces employing boats throughout the jungles of Southeast Asia. The song can also be heard in the game's credits, and I won't be playing it for you guys because it's copyrighted, but it's a pretty good song and I recommend you listen to it yourself. But there's an oddity to it. In the game, the mission takes place on February 11th, 1968. Which is strange considering the song was released in December of that year. So the song is featured in the game before the song was ever even written. And you might be going, oh, it's just background music. Well, it plays on the radio in the game world. So we've got a time-traveling radio on our hands. But this isn't the only song that appears in Black Ops before it was ever written, as Fortunate Son is played in a previous mission when you first arrive in Vietnam, before the song was even released. I covered this detail extensively in my previous video exploring the entire story of Black Ops. Go check it out. It's a 2.5 hour long retrospective, so if you're into those long videos and you love Call of Duty Black Ops, I recommend you watch it. But let's talk about Sympathy for the Devil one more time, as there's another detail that is quite strange. There's a lyric in the song that reads, "I shouted out, 'Who killed the Kennedys?' when after all, it was you and me." This is really eerie. It's foreshadowing for a detail we're going to be getting into later in the video, as the death of John F. Kennedy has huge plot implications in Call of Duty Black Ops. Teddy bears. Teddy bears are a very frequently recurring Easter egg throughout the Call of Duty franchise. They first appeared in Call of Duty Finest Hour, then they were carried through to the second Call of Duty, and then on to Modern Warfare 1 and 2, and beyond. They also appear in Zombies, where they serve as an infamous mystery box reward. Can I call it a reward? It's more like a punishment that whisks the box away to a new location. They're basically everywhere, both hidden and in plain sight. Some theorize that the teddy bear has some deeper meaning, and when I see the teddy bear, I usually think of 3DO, which is a throwback. For those of you who are younger than the age of 22, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but it was a game studio that's gone, and I miss them. Dirty Harry, also known as the Holy Pistol. It's available in World at War and Black Ops as a secret weapon, and is only obtainable through cheats or hacks. It's a 1911 that fires grenades, and has a few oddities between both games that make it a unique, but strange, hacked weapon. Gaz is Ghost. Oh yeah, this is a classic theory from the past. Gaz from Modern Warfare is killed by Zakhaev with a point-blank shot from a Desert Eagle. In the sequel, a new character appears, Ghost. Both characters are voiced by Craig Fairbrass, and exhibit similar personalities and mannerisms, except Ghost wears a skull mask at all times, perhaps to cover up a terrible scar, or bullet wound. Perhaps he's named Ghost since he should have been dead after taking a .50 caliber round to the face, and his mask alludes to how Gaz died and became Ghost, so to speak. This was a very popular fan theory from the time, and I even believed it as a kid. I was thinking, hey, this is the same voice actor. He's also, alongside Price, so he's got to be the same guy. But unfortunately, it's since been disproven by Infinity Ward. Also, Ghost has a backstory that has him as a totally different person named Simon Riley, a sergeant in the SAS. But still, they are voiced by the same voice actor, so speculation will always remain. WA2000 sticker. This is an oddity that always stuck with me as a kid. Get it? Stuck with me? Alright, I'll shut up. Anyway, on the inside of the rear scope cap for the WA2000 sniper rifle, you can see a sticker of a green, disgusted face. It looks similar to Mr. Yuck, a label placed on toxic substances meant to warn kids from consuming them. It's a really weird detail for this rifle, and I think they added it to add a little bit of personality to the gun, despite how odd and out of place the sticker itself is. The sticker also appears on the scope cap of the Barrett .50 caliber rifle as well, but it's far less visible and less memorable due to the angle of the scope cover. But anytime I saw the WA2000 out, I always noticed that face staring right back at me. It's kind of hard to miss. It's kind of iconic, to be honest with you. This little texture was so memorable from these days of Modern Warfare 2 in the game's online multiplayer. Dog tag secrets. Dog tags throughout Call of Duty offer some secret information. In campaign, tags read numerous quotes or unique names throughout the games, but in multiplayer, especially in Kill Confirmed, the floating dog tag pickups read Simon Ghost Riley and Victor Reznov. There are other examples that point to the developers having a little bit of fun with the names and text that they printed onto these dog tags. Reznov is alive. Victor Reznov is one of the best characters in Call of Duty. First featured as a major character in World at War, he returns in Black Ops, following Mason around throughout his campaign in Vietnam and ushering him forward in his quest to avenge Reznov's fallen friends and comrades. As the game ends, Hudson reveals that, spoiler alert, Reznov was dead the entire time, and he was just a hallucination in Mason's mind, a side effect of Reznov tampering with the Soviet brainwashing experiments on Mason. And when Mason and Reznov attempted to escape the Vorkuta gulag, Reznov was unfortunately killed. But there are tons of fan theories that speculate he may still be alive. For one thing, we never watch him die. There is a slim possibility he may have escaped captivity at Vorkuta with Mason, but there's an even bolder smoking gun. There's a terminal in the Black Ops main menu screen. If you get out of your interrogation chair, you can actually walk over to it and interact with it. On this terminal are several emails, a handful of which are from a John Trent. These emails are sent to both John F. Kennedy, the president, as well as a Jason Hudson in this Black Ops terminal, but there's something very peculiar about these emails. The first one is addressed to Jason Hudson, and it claims, "You don't know me, but I know Alex Mason. You will learn to trust me. Everything changes on Friday." And then there's further emails including, "It was by the hand of Nikita Dragovich. This is just the beginning. They are everywhere. Start at Vorkuta. To escape the breakout. You know one of them. The other one just died." And then finally, there's a few more messages, including this really crazy one right here that says, "Please tell Mason one last thing. This time, it's freedom for both of us." And the subject is, "You have done well." Further, the date on this final email reads February 27th, 1968, a day after the final mission of Call of Duty Black Ops when Reznov's revenge plot is fulfilled. A lot of the language used in the subject lines and bodies of each of these emails are ripped straight from Reznov's vocabulary that he uses throughout the campaign. It is heavily implied that John Trent is actually just Reznov, and that Reznov might actually still be alive. Thunder Gun in campaign. Much like the ray gun in World at War's story mode, you can actually pull off an Easter egg in Black Ops on the mission Numbers, where you can obtain a Thunder Gun from the Zombies mode.
They're breaching the windows! Which way?
Zombies in Nuketown. On the map Nuketown from Black Ops 3, there's an Easter egg that is probably one of my favorites in the series. If you decapitate all of the robot mannequins across the map, they will all turn into zombies and charge you, turning the entire multiplayer map into a little survival experience. This is an awesome little Easter egg that adds so much more spice to this simple map and permanently changes the experience until the game is over. Vendetta. Oh yeah, this World at War level was inspired by the film Enemy at the Gates. It's a fan favorite. You control Dmitry Petrenko in his escape from the slaughter at Stalingrad alongside Sergeant Reznov. It's a sniper level full of stealth and marksmanship, and the whole level is a grim reminder to how dark the war actually was. It offers a shocking introduction to such a brutal campaign, and you get to hear the super creepy and iconic World at War menu music at the very start of the level. Out of Bounds and Vendetta. So, speaking of Vendetta, this mission has a very famous glitch that allows you to break out of the map. Many players broke out of the map back in the day to easily pull off the achievement that tasks you with assassinating Heinrich Amsel with a pistol. This glitch makes it unbelievably easy. You can just get right up close and personal. You don't even gotta try sniping them with your pistol anymore, which I remember watching my friends try to pull off, and it was not easy. It took a ton of attempts. Burger Town. Oh, Burger Town. This fast food burger franchise has been featured in Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2. It's in the campaign as a major objective, and offers an awesome camping spot I abused all the time as a kid in Terminal. It even returns in Modern Warfare 3 in the German mall of Arcaden. The restaurant even flashes back in time into Black Ops Cold War. This restaurant appears all over the globe in a variety of different levels and multiplayer maps. And since I was a kid, I thought this was super goofy. It's like a parody of Burger King. I just love the name and branding, Burger Town. It just sounds so goofy every time I say it. And whenever I used to play Modern Warfare with my friends, I would always yell at my friends that we gotta defend the Burger Town. It's like the most important objective. It is Americana at its finest. If we lose Burger Town, we lose America, gentlemen. Like, this was... these were the days, man. Burger Town just made the game so much more enjoyable and lighthearted, and a little bit more of a meme, to be honest. Grubhub even did a deal with Call of Duty that allowed players to unlock cosmetic items in Modern Warfare 2019 themed around Burger Town. It's an icon. Like, they might as well open a real Burger Town, to be honest with you. Musical Easter eggs. Tons of zombies maps have musical Easter eggs. They usually task players with clicking the interaction button on a few random MacGuffins, like for example, the 115 asteroid fragments you have to click on throughout Kino der Toten.
Boom! I found the hidden song. Awesome.
When all the pieces of the puzzle are complete, a song, typically metal, plays out in full to make zombies even more enjoyable. The most famous of these metal tracks are 115, which plays in Kino, and Lullaby of a Dead Man from Verrucht. But personally, I think the song from Ascension is one of the best for its really distinctive chugging. I think it's called, like, Abracadabra or something. No, wait. It's Abracadaver, because it's like a zombie cadaver. Get it? I also love The One from Shino Numa. The song is just called The One. Pretty much every map features an Easter egg track, and we can thank Kevin Sherwood, Elena Siegman, and Avenged Sevenfold for most of these tracks. These artists really knocked it out of the park. Hidden radios. Zombies maps feature hidden radios that, when interacted with, play spooky audio or give background to the story behind the zombies. The first radios appeared in Shino Numa, with the most prominent radios making landfall in Durice. Although there was one radio that appeared in Nocturne Toten, which is the earliest zombies map, but we'll get to that later. Durice as a whole, and the radios within it, offer the most important first fragments of lore to the entire zombies universe. The origins of the zombies, Richtofen's betrayal of Maxis, and the backstory behind Samantha. You can hear it all on these radios on Durice. And more radios would appear later in the series in future maps and games.
Stand up. Stand up! Good. Look at me. Over here. Good.
Shadow Man. Nope. I'm not talking about your Benadryl-induced hallucination demons. The Shadow Man is the main protagonist of the zombies storyline. He was once a keeper before the events of Nazi zombies from World at War, before being corrupted by the Dark Aether, and ultimately becoming the main antagonist of Black Ops 3 Zombies. Now you might be thinking, Nikos, what is a keeper? What is the Dark Aether? Well, to be honest with you, I really don't know. I've never understood the zombies lore. I know a little bit here and there, but in the interest of time, we're going to keep it simple. If you'd like to learn more, there are tons of YouTube videos going over the entire Call of Duty Zombies lore. I'm a pussy, I use Riot Shield. I can't even read that with a straight face. Oh man, I miss Modern Warfare's open mic cesspit lobbies. Take a listen to this classic.
Riot Shield. What else do you want me to fuck? Riot Shield. I'm a pussy that use Riot Shield. I'm a pussy. What do you want me to do? You tell me what you want.
Nova Crawlers. The Nova Crawlers are a variant of normal zombies that first appeared in Kino der Toten from Call of Duty Black Ops. They have a grotesque, creepy appearance, lacking eyes, with much of their face replaced by a contorted, fang-filled maw, and they crawl on all fours along the ground. When killed, they explode into a cloud of poisonous gas that blinds the players, and it's heavily implied that they've been mutated by the Nova 6 gas that's featured in Black Ops' campaign mode. Giant Harper. Oh man, this one's a doozy. Where do I even begin? Black Ops 7's campaign is a huge joke, like I've already mentioned. There's Warzone mechanics, and terrible writing. Oh yeah, and a forced acid trip of a story that comes off as ridiculous and not really maturely written. Including the most infamous part of the campaign that has been mocked and memed on to death. Giant Michael Rooker. also known as the Skibidi Toilet boss fight. I'm not kidding, a lot of folks online are calling it that. This called into question how off the rails the writing team has gone within Treyarch, as they've come across as completely creatively bankrupt. Not only are they reviving characters from 12 years ago rather than telling a new story, they're doing this to those old fan favorite characters. Like, how are you going to do this to my favorite character from Black Ops 2? I freaking loved Harper. How are you going to put a stain on Michael Rooker's legacy like that, Treyarch? Come on, have some class. Pentagon test subjects. Ooh, this is a good one. JFK, Nixon, Castro, and McNamara defend the Pentagon against a swarm of zombies in the map 5. This is from Call of Duty Black Ops. And in the downstairs chambers of the map are laboratories. These include a variety of test subjects, including pigs and grossly dissected humans. Who are these test subjects? What was their purpose? Why were humans being opened up and examined? Considering the Winter's Howl ice blaster is found in the weapons lab within the basement, perhaps the American government was testing the effects of 115 on their own test subjects. It's creepy stuff. Controlled Richtofen. There are multiple iterations of Richtofen throughout the zombies storyline. As for this entry, I'm not too certain what it implies. During Black Ops 2, Richtofen enters the Aether after swapping places with Samantha, taking control of the zombies and putting Samantha's soul into his old body. Alternatively, this entry could also reference how his exposure to Dark Aether corrupted him and turned him evil. It could imply that Richtofen might have not been as evil until the Dark Aether infected him or something like that. I don't know. Help signs. The help signs appear multiple times in World at War's zombie maps. The most notable one is on Nocturne and Toten. It's simply an unfinished chalk message that reads help, and it looks as if the zombies may have killed the guy who was writing it. This same decal reappears in Der Riese, but in Nocturne and Toten, this help message was pretty iconic as it led to the door itself being named the Help Door. Hellhounds. Oh yeah, the best zombies bonus round. Samantha's pet dog Fluffy was forcibly shoved into one of the experimental teleporters in Der Riese, which ultimately corrupted Fluffy into a deadly, undead hellhound. And then it turns out that Fluffy had puppies beyond the curtain or whatever, so whenever these hellhound rounds begin, Fluffy and all of her kin teleport in to attack the players. Each of these Hellhound rounds ends in a max ammo power-up, making them far more desirable than the standard zombie waves. The first map that featured Hellhounds was Shinonuma. Hellhound rounds were initially planned for Verrückt, but ultimately were cut until the next map released. Dr. Monty. Dr. Monty appears in Black Ops 3 as a background character, who ultimately becomes an antagonist in Black Ops 4's Zombies. He created the Gobblegum machine, as well as the other more magical elements across numerous maps. Samantha's room. Samantha is the daughter of Ludwig Maxis, Richtofen's former partner who partook in the Nazi experiments with Element 115. She ultimately reaches the Aether and takes control of the zombies. You can visit her room in 2 different states in Black Ops Zombies on the map Kino der Toten. Jeez. After teleporting, you will sometimes end up in her room, and it will sometimes be pristine, and other times bloody and horrifying. Both versions feature tons of teddy bears. Samantha's room ends up returning in Black Ops 3 as the zombies lore for that game comes to a close. Main Easter egg. The main Easter eggs of Call of Duty Zombies are simply the Easter egg quests that are focused on the plot and build the narrative around zombies. Blank portraits. Kino der Toten has a room full of portraits of the 4 cast members of the Zombies Ultimus crew, but there's also a 5th portrait with a silhouette of some mystery man. At first, I thought it was the Shadow Man. The prevailing theory is that it's actually a blank picture of Pablo Marinas. Pablo is a Mexican spy captured by the 935 crew and experimented on with 115 by Richtofen. He died under experimentation before entering a pocket dimension, and ultimately later assisted the Primus crew in defeating the Apothecans in the Great War. Wow, the Zombies plotline is bonkers. Reading this, like, what? TLDR, Pablo was the first primary test subject used by Richtofen, who never got a chance to fight alongside the Big Four from the Ultimus crew, so his silhouetted portrait is included in Kino der Toten. The Cycle. There are 2 cycles in COD Zombies. The first one is the overarching lore of the story, which follows the plot from World at War through to Black Ops 4 and has the premise cast start back in ancient times to defeat the Apothicons, followed by the release of the zombies, the rise of the premise crew to help defeat the Shadow Man, and when Dr. Monty was faced with a paradox, he sent the team back in time to the Great War in ancient times. It's a time loop, basically. The other cycle is in Mob of the Dead, which has 4 mobsters trapped within Alcatraz during a zombie outbreak. After assembling the escape plane, the crew reaches the Golden Gate Bridge, where electric chairs await them. Death by these chairs sends the players back to Alcatraz, engaging in a never-ending loop from start to finish. Multiverse. Adding to the confusion of the zombies narrative is the existence of the multiverse. This is the main reason that the Ultimus and Premise crews exist with identical clones of each other. Some of the more notable dimensions include the Dark Aether and Agartha. Agartha is a perfect fit for zombies, considering Nazi esotericism states that the Earth is hollow, and Agartha is a mythical kingdom found underground within our hollow Earth, and it's populated by an Aryan super race. Yes, the Nazis used copious amounts of drugs in real life, and some of them actually believed this. Like, bruh. I'm not even kidding. Like, this is some of the prominent figures in World War II Germany. They used a lot of drugs, and that's probably why they believed in this crazy, nonsensical stuff. So because of this, Agartha is a perfect inclusion as a dimension for a story surrounding Nazi zombies and other World War II German experimentation. Perca-Cola. Perca-Cola machines offer experimental magical beverages imbued with the power of Element 115 and weird science. Players can spend their points to use them in the zombies mode to gain an advantage. And the fan favorites, Speed Cola and Juggernog, are borderline essential for survival, especially in the later rounds of zombies. Also, the machines each emit unique jingles that are quite catchy, and I actually kind of like some of these songs. Cold War secret buttons. The Cold War campaign has a handful of secret buttons that you can interact with to open secret areas, warn guards of your own presence, which you probably shouldn't press that one, and one is attached to the Burger Town mascot that plays a selection of Burger Town themed voice lines. All in all, these buttons are just a fun little Easter egg that spices up the campaign a bit. Cut and scrapped zombies content. There are tons of features and levels cut from zombies, and we're going to be getting into a lot of those later. Cut weapons. Every Call of Duty has loads of cut firearms. Modern Warfare was originally supposed to feature the FAMAS in 5.7. The MP5 and Remington 870 MCS were also cut from Modern Warfare 2, and there's a whole slew of other cut weapons that I'm not even going to begin to list. Seeing this list of cut guns alone makes me wonder how many total firearms have been featured throughout Call of Duty's history. Zap. Okay, I'm not sure why the entry for this is just called Zap, when it likely just refers to the Zap gun wonder weapon from Black Ops' final zombies map, Moon. The Zap guns are a pair of dual-wieldable energy pistols that when combined become the wave gun. Fans love this wonder weapon, and it is very capable even into the late rounds, but what does Zap mean? I mean, the Iceberg author doesn't really explain this in the slightest. It's just capital letters, Z-A-P. Maybe you might know. I think it's the Zap guns. I don't know. Steam. Many Call of Duty games are available on Steam. I'm sure it's all of them, but for some time, many releases were stuck on Blizzard's Battle.net launcher that nobody likes at all. This has since changed as Call of Duty releases on both launchers for PC now. But what boggles my mind is how expensive these 10-plus-year-old releases are. Some of them are still full price, and other titles barely have a discount at all. This is pretty trashy, and Activision has suffered a lot of ridicule from fans because you have to consider many of the games no longer have players online. The multiplayer is next to nowhere near possible, and some of them, like Black Ops 3, are plagued by dangerous hackers. Mainframe. Call of Duty Zombies introduced teleporters in Der Riese and carried them over to Kino der Toten. The mainframe is the central base at the spawn of both maps, where teleported players return to. In order to obtain Pack-a-Punch, players must link the teleporters to the mainframe. And this is one of the easiest Pack-a-Punch challenges in Zombies. Fuck you, Last Stand. Last Stand is a perk in tons of Call of Duty games. Starting in COD 4, if you selected this perk, it instantly made you a bitchless virgin. You get the V-card returned to you in priority shipping if you cheat death with this bum-ass perk. Essentially, when you outplay and kill an enemy in multiplayer who has Last Stand equipped, they drop to the floor with their pistol out and 1 HP, and they get one last chance to shoot your ankles out and take you out with them. It's an annoying perk, to say the least, that gives free kills to skillless players, and the fanbase hated it more than Modern Warfare 2 NoobTube builds. Modern Warfare 2 doubled down on this ridiculous perk by adding a death streak. Yes, back in Modern Warfare 2, if you died too many times in a row, you would be gifted with a magical power, one of which was called Final Stand, which was basically Last Stand, but you pulled out your primary weapon. It was ridiculous. Proning in front of a perk machine. On some Call of Duty Zombies maps, if you go prone in front of Perca-Cola machines, you may just find a quarter underneath it, netting you 25 points and forever setting your points off by 5 until you die. My condolences to players with OCD. Only one can have a wonder weapon. This is a mechanic present almost everywhere in Zombies. Only one player can pull a wonder weapon from the mystery box. This doesn't include the secondary wonder weapons like ray guns. Quick Revive disappears in solo. In Zombies maps where Quick Revive appears, its functionality is replaced. In World at War, it's completely useless, but in Black Ops 1 and 2, if you buy Quick Revive at its discounted rate of 500 points in solo play, you will automatically be revived on death, as if you had a player there to help you. However, you can only buy it 3 times, and on the 3rd time, it disappears from the map. Bot. Bots are uncontrolled AI players. They can be used to populate a private match with computer-controlled enemies. Calling a player a bot in Call of Duty is a tongue-in-cheek insult that basically dumpsters the player's skill level. As if they were so bad, they are operating at a level comparable to brain-dead AI bots. MLG. Major League Gaming was an esports organization that hosted gaming tournaments for popular shooter games, including Halo and Call of Duty. It became a meme when quickscoping and trickshot edits began featuring the MLG logo to build up comedic satire, alongside other popular memes and more dank topics. MLG has sadly been shut down in the early 2020s, when it experienced a loss in profit after its acquisition by Activision Blizzard. But its impact on the FPS competitive scene and meme scene is still felt to this day. I remember there was even a Rainbow Six Vegas 2 map that featured the MLG logo everywhere. MW2 2022 crashes. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, no, not the good one from 2009, the one from 2022, was a technical disaster and faced frequent crashing issues. This seems to be a common issue in modern AAA and AA gaming. Ghost is Simon Riley. Yeah, we've kind of been over this already. I may have over-explained Ghost's previous entries, but this is Ghost's name, and it is the same in the reboot trilogy as well.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Ghost says this rather comedic line in MW2 after you fail special ops missions, or when your team loses in multiplayer, and it's a bit of a meme. You can no-scope Hassan. In the final mission of Modern Warfare 2-2, quick side note, I'm going to be adding the number 2 at the end of every game that happens to be from the reboot trilogy of Modern Warfare because they're named the exact same thing, and I don't want to be saying the year of release every time I mention Modern Warfare 2 or 3. Anyway, in the final mission of Modern Warfare 2-2, you can no-scope the main antagonist of the game, and are not required to aim down your rifle's scope. Split screen. Split screen co-op and multiplayer is available for many of the Call of Duty games, but there are limitations and intricacies with each of the releases. Some games support 4-player local zombies, which that's pretty awesome. Other games support only 2 players for zombies. Blackout supports 2-player local co-op, which is amazing, and Modern Warfare 2's Spec Ops offers a fun 2-player couch co-op experience. These are only just a few of the examples. There are definitely others with the other games. Friendly fire will not be tolerated. In many of the Call of Duty titles, this phrase reads across the screen whenever you fire upon a friendly or civilian that is not permitted to be attacked. It's a rather goofy line because it has such authoritative diction, and thanks to millions of players experiencing it themselves, it has become a widely accepted meme.
Oh, I'm unhealthy because I'm fat?
Literally, yes.
This gets taken to new heights in Modern Warfare 2019 in the Clean House mission, where if you shoot the baby, it will tell you children are not combatants and send you back to the last checkpoint. But if you shoot the baby over and over and over again, it will instead read, "Are you serious?" and kick you back to the main menu. Los Alamos. The Modern Warfare reboot series sure likes to create fictional territories. Uzbekistan, and Verdansk are just two of them, with Los Alamos being a fictional territory in northern Mexico near the border with Texas. There are also a handful of maps across Modern Warfare 2 and 3 set in Los Alamos, as well as some story missions. Clans. Clans are common in a lot of shooter games. They're a form of virtual club or organization of roaming players that band together to share a lobby and sometimes take the game way too seriously. Press F to pay respects. This is one of the biggest Call of Duty memes of all time. This time from the game Advanced Warfare, the COD title with the most impactful memes. Early in the campaign, after the protagonist's friend is killed, at the funeral service, the game instructs you to perform a QuickTime event to pay your respects, with F being the default interaction key on PC. This ultimately snowballed into a meme because of how absurdly goofy it is that a game would force interactivity in a funeral scene, completely demolishing immersion and making the story feel kind of silly. The unintentional comedy of this scene snowballed into a meme, with users online spamming Fs in the chat as a sign of solidarity. This meme has gotten so out of hand, I completely forgot that it came from Call of Duty. I just see F whenever someone is expressing their condolences, and I never really think about Advanced Warfare. I completely forgot it came from this game. Round 255, Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 Zombies has a hard limit of round 255. You cannot go any higher. Although you can go up into the thousands in World at War and other games, in Black Ops 3, the game uses an unsigned integer variable to keep track of the rounds, which has a maximum value of 255. Going any higher is impossible, so the game ultimately sends endless waves of very challenging zombies at you until you end up dead. I wasn't even aware of this, as I've really never made it past around 40, not just because of skill, but also once you get into the 30s, rounds take like 20 minutes each and you start to kind of get bored. John Black Ops. John Black Ops was a meme popularized throughout the community. The John Dark Soul meme appears to be ground zero for all these John memes. This included John Halo, or Master Chief, whose name is actually just John, John Fortnite, John Battlefield, and of course, John Black Ops. However, John Black Ops is more than just an idea. He's a man in Black Ops 6. A free operator was released earlier this year, named John Black Ops, as generic and faceless as can possibly be. John Black Ops is the operator I wish was still in Black Ops 7, because I really want to play as him. He's got no lore, no background, and is apparently not canon, but he has unlimited aura. All Gillied Up. This is the best mission in Call of Duty 4, and I'll be coming back to it more later in this iceberg. Join Captain McMillan in a stealth mission, sneaking through the Pripyat ghost town that was ruined by the Chernobyl nuclear disaster, to assassinate the main villain, Zakhaev. Welcome to Level 2. Everything's going to get a bit more obscure, but you'll probably know most of these. 115. Element 115, or 115, is known as Moscovium in real life, and Divinium in Call of Duty. 115 is a rare, magical element that is a recurrent theme in the Zombies mode. It is the plot device and MacGuffin that powers the wonder weapons, teleporters, Perca-Colas, and raises the dead to fight the players as hordes of zombies. The most iconic Zombies Easter egg song that appears in Kino der Toten is named after this element as well. It's simply titled 115. There are tons of number-based Easter eggs and references throughout Zombies, with 115 being the most common. For instance, Doris's clock tower is stuck with its hands permanently clicking at 1:15 o'clock. COD vs Battlefield rivalry. Both Call of Duty and Battlefield are compared to one another since they're both popular military shooters. Call of Duty usually outperforms Battlefield year after year, but there have been two moments where it seemed that Battlefield managed to eclipse Activision's franchise. In 2016, Battlefield 1 appeared to dethrone Infinite Warfare, and recently, the entire internet trashed Black Ops 7 and hoisted up Battlefield 6 as the savior of the first-person shooter market, despite some of the flaws that Battlefield 6 possesses. Samantha Maxis in Modern Warfare 3. In the MW3 mission named Bag and Drag, Delta Force and French operatives chase down Volk, Makarov's bomb manufacturer, in Paris. There's an Easter egg of a girl holding a hammer and a teddy bear, with Sammy written next to her. This is an obvious reference to Samantha from COD Zombies in the Treyarch games. DS Snowman. Okay, I've never experienced or heard of this Easter egg because I never had Call of Duty for the DS. Essentially, on the DS ports of COD 4, World at War, and Black Ops, you can find secret snowmen Easter eggs throughout the games. Space Dog. In the Black Ops 3 Moon remaster in Zombies, you can spawn in an adorable space dog who walks around outside the map. He even has his own little spacesuit, and it's crazy that COD Zombies offers so many Easter eggs that I'm still learning about some of them today.
What you're seeing is advanced warfare.
Players and fans found this line to be pretty hysterical, so it developed into a bit of a meme that escaped the Call of Duty community. Zombies Chronicles 2. Zombies Chronicles was a DLC pack in Black Ops 3 that offers 8 remastered Zombies maps from throughout the Treyarch franchise. It's an amazing deal and is seen as necessary to get the full vanilla Zombies experience within Black Ops 3. Since its release in 2017, fans have eagerly awaited a second Zombies Chronicles release. Rumors spread, and fans began getting hyped for a DLC pack that was never even announced. Fans to this day are still waiting for this pack to release on modern Call of Duty titles, which has spawned tons of memes. Although Treyarch kept fans waiting on a second Zombies Chronicles, fans have since remastered other beloved maps and packaged them together on the Steam Workshop as an unofficial Zombies Chronicles 2. So I suppose this kind of exists, just not officially released by the devs. Alex Mason is dead. Yeah, the multiple endings of Black Ops 2 were recently made non-canon, and Treyarch has forced the canon that David killed Menendez, and Woods made the wrong choice and ultimately shot Alex Mason. This is a lame way to ruin a multi-ended campaign 13 years later, and is really lazy because it seems like the developers at Treyarch and the writers didn't know what story to tell, so they decided to just force an ending to Black Ops 2 so they could make Black Ops 7, which essentially just tells Black Ops 2's story all over again with the same character arcs. This is an especially stupid way to change a game's canon because they broke their canon anyway by having both Harper and Karma survive, even though their survival status at the end of Black Ops 2 is essentially mutually explicit of each other. One of them lives and the other dies. There is no both of these two characters survives. This ruination of Black Ops 2 is accepted as a terrible decision by the broader gaming audience, and has forced many to look at Black Ops 7 as an unserious entry in the Call of Duty campaign universe. It's also caused a lot of controversy online, as many fans would have rather had the good ending, where David Mason learns that revenge is bad, elects not to kill Menendez, and Woods doesn't kill Mason. Black Ops 4 PS4 launch. Call of Duty controversy spun back up once again when it was announced all DLC and post-launch content for Black Ops 4 would hit PlayStation 4 before all other platforms. This had PlayStation fans giddy, and Xbox and PC players feeling left out and pretty angry. Ultimately, Xbox would get the last laugh when Microsoft ended up buying Activision Blizzard years later. Mastery camos. Mastery camos were started in Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Initially, accomplishing challenges unlocked gold-plated camo for a number of the weapons. This feature got carried over into Black Ops and future games, where these coatings could be applied to almost all, if not every weapon. Unlocking these mastery camos varies across the games, with some of them requiring you to prestige your player, and others requiring you to max out the rank of various weapons. Starting in Black Ops 2, getting all gold camos for a certain weapon category granted you diamond camos. And starting in Black Ops 3, unlocking every diamond camo gave you dark matter camos. These shiny skins were a form of ultimate accomplishment and give players a staggering grind to take on with each Call of Duty release. Ultimates are just reused models from World at War's campaign. This is shockingly true. Each of the characters from the original Ultimates Zombies crew are just slightly modified versions of previous characters and models featured in campaign and multiplayer. Richtofen is an altered General Amsel, Nikolai is based off Chernov, Dempsey is based on Polanski, which explains the lack of helmet, and Takeo is based on one of the Japanese officer models, Moab and V2 Rocket. Some Call of Duty games don't feature the tactical nuke as a kill streak, but instead replace them with either the Moab or the V2 Rocket. Tombstone Soda. This controversial perk appeared in transit from Black Ops 2 for the first time. If a player is downed after buying Tombstone, they can elect to instead die and not get revived. Hopefully, if they do so, their friends can complete the round. Then, on respawn, if the player can manage to run and grab their Tombstone before 90 seconds is up, they get all their weapons and perks back. This was never a popular perk due to how finicky and situational it is. Very often, players found it very difficult to get back to their grave. Killing Makarov in Modern Warfare Remastered. So we've already been over this, it's just a rehash of the Time Paradox achievement where you can kill Makarov in Modern Warfare Remastered, preventing the story of Modern Warfare 2 and 3 entirely. I'm gonna put this out here right now. If you look at the Iceberg image, there are a handful of duplicates, and for any of the duplicates I come across, I will simply not even mention them to save time. Killing Colonel Shepard in the Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered tutorial. This is similar to the Time Paradox achievement. In the second Modern Warfare Remaster, you can shoot General Shepard to unlock the Precognitive Paranoia achievement, which would prevent his betrayal and saves Ghost and Roach later in the game. If the timeline could continue from that point. It can. It forces you to reload your checkpoint. Yo, revive me, I got ray gun. This quote is hysterical. I love this one. It's never uttered in-game. It's just something many players instinctively say whenever they get downed and happen to have a ray gun in zombies. Since the ray gun is considered a pistol weapon, when you're downed with it, you automatically pull out your ray gun in your downed state. This can make reviving downed players easier, but since pulling a ray gun from the mystery box is rare, players that get downed with the ray gun really want to be revived so they don't lose it. These two conditions serve as bargaining chips that help encourage their friends to risk their lives to revive the player who is downed and has the ray gun. It's become a huge meme, as it's a sort of, I wouldn't call it a Mandela effect, but it's more of a common experience we all have run into at least once when we played zombies. Bal-27 Obsidian Steed. The Bal-27 is a sci-fi assault rifle from Advanced Warfare. There's a variant of it available from supply drops, aka loot boxes, called Obsidian Steed, which offers faster aim down sight times and increased damage over range. I never played the multiplayer of Advanced Warfare, but from what I've found online in researching this Iceberg, this was a very popular weapon variant that shredded multiplayer lobbies and was highly sought after. The rifle even returned in the Modern Warfare 3 reboot, and the Obsidian Steed blueprint was re-released as a microtransaction in that game. Mason lives. Black Ops 2's story surrounds the death of Alex Mason. However, as I covered in my Black Ops 2 retrospective, you can save Mason if you shoot him in the leg instead of the head, which gives you one of many alternate endings where Mason reunites with Woods at the end of the game.
Hey, Woods. You look like hammered shit. You stay right there. Mason. They shot you. Turns out you're a lousy shot.
Although this ending is not canon according to Treyarch, as I've mentioned earlier, but at the time, Black Ops 2's multi-ended narrative was loved by the fans, and I gotta give some congrats to old Treyarch. They had a hell of a writing team. Supply drops and battle passes. These are a semi-controversial part of modern Call of Duty games that add more pervasive microtransactions into the game. Supply drops were effectively loot crates starting in Advanced Warfare, which would ultimately be replaced by the Battle Pass system, where you unlock things similar to Fortnite. The first Battle Pass was introduced in Black Ops 4, and supply drops went on to, I suppose, not be very well liked by the community. Last Gen Richtofen. Last Gen Richtofen is a meme image of a low-quality render of Richtofen. This model is captured from the Black Ops 3 version released for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, which resulted in a downgrade in visuals, and fans have since mocked the terrible visuals and garbage Black Ops 3 port by relentlessly memeing on the Last Gen console rendition of Richtofen. It spawned tons of memes in the zombies community, and it's pretty hilarious. It serves as just one example of the absolute tragedy that is the Black Ops 3 last generation port.
Heads up. Scouts on the ridgeline. We do this quiet, Mason.
Yeah, you're the expert in quiet.
I'm a goddamn onion, Mason. You should know that.
Seriously though, what did Woods even mean by this in Black Ops Cold War? Modern Warfare 2019's current state. Modern Warfare 2019 was COD's first significant step towards a live service model similar to Fortnite. The game drew out tons of fans, despite some criticisms, but Modern Warfare 2019 continues to have a large player base. Many players are disappointed in the current offerings in all of the Modern Warfare reboots, especially MW 2019, and they wish for a return to form when the game felt more like a grounded military shooter and had less microtransactions and other issues. I specifically remember giving up on Warzone when Black Ops Cold War launched because the devs for some reason made so many Cold War weapons overpowered in Warzone, which kind of forced players to have to buy the new Call of Duty game, and it absolutely ruined the weapons sandbox in Warzone. Spec Ops. The Special Ops game mode entered service in Modern Warfare 2 as a fun solo and co-op experience which pit players against AI enemies to accomplish missions. These were usually set in reused campaign levels and challenged the players to pull off difficult objectives under a time limit, or a point limit, or just had players surviving waves of enemies. Spec Ops is a sort of third mode for Modern Warfare, similar to how Zombies is a third mode for the Treyarch games. I personally love this game mode. The original Modern Warfare 2 offering of Spec Ops maps is flawless. Survival. Survival is an additional mode added to Spec Ops and Modern Warfare 3. You and your friends are forced to hold out against waves of AI enemies in a round-based game mode similar to Zombies, complete with weapon purchasing, kill streaks, and an economy. Enemy AC-130 above. The AC-130 is featured in Call of Duty's campaign modes, and also as a kill streak in Modern Warfare 2 and 3. In Modern Warfare 2, it takes 11 kills to earn an AC-130, and as soon as the enemy team calls in an AC-130, your team hears, "Enemy AC-130 above," shouted by your team's announcer. The voice line is so intense and emotional, it makes you think the announcer is on the ground with you, realizing you're doomed. And the best one is the Spetsnaz announcer's message.
Enemy AC-130 above.
Enemy AC-130 above!
Enemy AC-130 above.
Man, I hope Infinity Ward gave this dude a raise. It's so iconic, it's become a meme in the community. One Man Army. One Man Army was a perk in Modern Warfare 2 that was highly infamous. If you equipped this perk, a bag full of ammo replaced your secondary weapon. You could effectively use it over and over, leading to some players equipping a grenade launcher on their assault rifles and firing off both shells before replenishing them over and over and over again. These guys were like a persistently firing artillery gun, and they were an absolute menace to multiplayer lobbies. Das Haus. Das Haus is a 6v6 multiplayer map in the Modern Warfare 3 reboot, but it's also the name of a modded Zombies map that is a remake of an old classic custom Zombies map from World at War, which was originally titled Zombie House. I never played on either of these custom maps, but found online that fans hate the multiplayer map from Modern Warfare, but love this Zombies map. There's also a Vanguard map of the same name, but I can't find anyone talking about it because I'm not sure people even played Vanguard or remember doing so. To my knowledge, Call of Duty Vanguard was probably just an Activision psyop. Oh wait, I found a few Reddit posts that show it has a controversial reception, with some fans loving the Vanguard map and others hating it. Such is life with modern COD map design. Plutonium IW4X. Plutonium is awesome. A bunch of Call of Duty fans effectively preserved a ton of the best Call of Duty games by creating a custom launcher with built-in anti-cheat and server support. I used it extensively in my 3 Treyarch Call of Duty retrospective videos. And if you want to play old COD games on PC, Activision has unfortunately abandoned these games entirely. But with Plutonium, the fans have effectively said, fine, we'll do it ourselves, and they extended the life of these old games. I also recommend IW4X. It's another popular modded launcher, but exclusively runs Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, and it does so in a way that has made me appreciate the game more than ever before. IW4X has essentially reinvented Modern Warfare 2 by adding over 30 maps, some cut weapons from MW1, and man, it's just great. There's modded service. Just go play it. Go play IW4X. Go download it from a safe source. Plop it into your Modern Warfare 2 directory and just get to playing. I've been straight up addicted to this game all over again, like 15 years later. Wager matches. These are fun party modes only featured in Black Ops. This matchmaking browser included Gun Game, Sticks and Stones, One in the Chamber, and more. The biggest feature of these wager matches is that players had to ante in their in-game currency called COD points, with winners splitting the pot amongst themselves, and they were incredibly popular and incredibly addictive. This was one of my favorite playlists in all of Call of Duty, and it's a shame it never returned. It geniusly combined gambling with addictive party modes. Pure genius. FaZe. FaZe Clan is a professional esports brand and team. It's perhaps one of the largest of its kind in the world, and it had its start on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Ghost Secret Pistol. So the Iceberg explains this one, though I don't know how accurate it is. Ghost model has an M19 pistol strapped to his chest. Apparently, if you have this skin equipped, if you don't happen to have a pistol equipped as a secondary while you're on a ladder, you will instead pull out this M19 as a bonus pistol in multiplayer. I don't know if this is accurate because I can't find it on Google and never bought the skin myself. Maybe one of y'all in the comments can back the Iceberg up a bit or deny this rumor. Second bus route. Fans have been posting theories about transit since the map first released, one of which was a second bus route, or secret second bus that could take players to new locations. There's a sign in the bus station that lists bus routes, one, a day route, and a second one listed as a night route. I found a forum post from over 12 years ago speculating on this mysterious second bus route, though it has since been thoroughly debunked. I really can't blame the players for speaking about this, as Zombies is chock full of Easter eggs and secrets, to the point where I don't blame players to believing there could have been a secret bus route. Jet gun in campaign. This is another debunked theory from back in the day when Black Ops 2 first released. The Thunder Gun was available in the Black Ops campaign as an Easter egg, so why not the jet gun from Transit as well? There is no evidence of an Easter egg where you can obtain this weapon in campaign, and it must have just been rumors that have been completely debunked. Specialists. Specialists were featured in Black Ops 3 and 4. They added a bit of spice to the multiplayer, as they're not just basic characters, but instead playable entities that each possess unique abilities. I suppose these characters kind of blurred the lines between Call of Duty and hero shooters, and they didn't stick around long and were quickly phased out. Upgradable Jack-in-the-Box. In World War II Zombies, there's a tactical grenade named the Jack-in-the-Box, which is basically just a copy of the monkey bombs. If you get an upgraded blunderbuss from the mystery box, the grenade strangely also gets an upgrade. It's not really known if this is intentional or perhaps just a bug. Finding Nemo Easter egg. This took a YouTube search to dig up some early 2010s internet lore. YouTuber Chaos released a video showcasing a tutorial on how to achieve the Finding Nemo Easter egg on the map Getaway in Modern Warfare 3. To do so, you must follow a handful of steps, including blowing up a tactical insertion at the bottom of a swimming pool, sniping beach balls into that same pool, and sinking a 1 ball on the pool table with your sniper, because it's gold. Get it? Goldfish. Finding Nemo. This then magically spawns in clownfish within the fish tank. Except it doesn't. The fish are there at game start. This video is a classic of old Call of Duty hoax material. It inspired tons of copycats, including an Advanced Warfare Finding Nemo Easter egg guide. Yeah, basically the Finding Nemo Easter egg was so legendary as a hoax that people claimed that there were Easter eggs in other COD games of the same name. Chaos has since made a reaction video years later and obviously emphasized that it was all just a big joke. It's pretty obvious. It's a pretty good brainless bit, and bro sounds so serious in the original video, I really can't blame people for falling for it. What a classic. Hangman. There's an Easter egg in COD World War II that involves a game of Hangman on zombies to shower players with free power-ups and weapons. But the Iceberg specifically instead refers to the Hanging Man from World at War. On the map Shinonuma, the first one to introduce the original Zombies cast, in the starting room, the body of a man named Peter McCain dangles from the ceiling of the barn. Peter was a spy keeping tabs on Group 935, you know, the German organization behind the 115 experiments that created the zombies. Peter was ultimately exposed, captured, and was held in the Verrucht Asylum where Tank Dempsey and 3 Marine Raiders arrived to rescue him. Peter managed to escape, but lost his arm in the fight against the zombies, which is now stuck, clutching to the power switch at Verrucht. He then parachuted into the Japanese Division 9 facility at Shinonuma, where his parachute got tangled up on the roof, leaving him to hang where he perished. You can actually send the body to the floor if you throw grenades at it, and the hanging body with a missing arm adds greatly to the creepy, oppressive atmosphere of the Shinonuma swamps. And I remember everyone speculating about the body when we were all kids. It had people wondering, who is this man? Well, you know, we now know he's Peter McCain, but it was an awesome mystery when we were younger.
Our journey to victory has begun! Death to the MPLA!
This is Savimbi from Black Ops 2. He's actually a real historical figure, and this scene has been memed on to death, to the point where a myth spread convincing much of the internet that the clip was shown on Cartoon Network's live broadcasting by some hackers. It reference. On the multiplayer map Docks from Modern Warfare 2019, the tiny gunfight map had a little red balloon behind one of the sewer grates. If you shot it, it would explode into a ton of blood. This is an obvious reference to the movie and novel It, but the Easter egg was later removed in an update, for unknown reasons. Secret Old Woman. Behold, the biggest gaming hoax of all time. 18 million views, 15 years of age. An old CRT TV with a high degree of effort. This is the pinnacle of internet nostalgia. In Modern Warfare 2, on the map Underpass, a couple of players teach COD fans that if you shoot at the corners of a door and toss a flashbang, an old lady will scold the player, then light them up with a G36.
Wait, no, and no matter what she does, she always gets you, like, check it out.
Oh, I'm lucky there.
I know you can find some badges eggs as well.
The high degree of quality in this edit is admirable for a video from 2010, and it fooled countless poor souls who tried to get murdered by the fabled secret lady themselves. Secret RPG. On the Advanced Warfare level Throttle, you can find a leftover asset from Modern Warfare 3. It's a glitched RPG that you can equip and kind of not really use as it's really bugged. It's outside of the map and takes a bit of platforming to get to. This is a quote repeated by Reznov ad nauseum in Black Ops' campaign. It's practically battered into the player's head as he repeats it throughout cutscenes and gameplay. And this is because, prepare for obvious spoilers, Reznov sabotaged the Soviets' brainwashing of Mason and implanted his own targets within Alex himself. His own revenge plot. He conditioned Mason to search for and eliminate Dragovich, Kravchenko, and Steiner, the 3 men who wronged Reznov and killed his friend Dmitri. Because of this repetition, this quote has become somewhat of a meme. Blundergat and Exo Zombies. Yet another iconic Easter egg hoax, this time from Jim Bathy on YouTube. 10 years ago, this legend among men made the goofiest hoax showing players that you can obtain a totally real and not fake Blundergat from the Black Ops 2 map Mob of the Dead in Advanced Warfare's Zombies mode. No way, guys. This is epic. Soap and Gaz in Mile High Club. Mile High Club is an infamously challenging time trial level from the end of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. It serves as the game's epilogue and is especially brutal on veteran difficulty. This bonus level is only available after you beat the game. However, Gaz and Soap are both in your team. So when does Mile High Club take place? It couldn't be at the end of the game, since Gaz is dead, so maybe it took place earlier sometime. But not before the events of the story, as Soap links up with the team for the first time in the tutorial. The developers have confirmed Mile High Club was originally supposed to take place after the first mission on the cargo ship, but was later removed as it gave the game jarring pacing. I'm happy it's still playable as a bonus level though. The developers could have totally just abandoned it, but it's kind of an awesome mission, and I'm glad it's in game. From what I found online, it's practically accepted that instead of SAS, you and your team are actually Task Force 141, meaning this level could have taken place in MW2. I'm not sure. I'm gonna leave that up to y'all. Film references. Call of Duty is a very cinematic game series, so it makes sense it takes a lot of inspiration from war and action movies. Saving Private Ryan, Terminator, Enemy at the Gates, and more are referenced all throughout the game's vibrant stories. Call of Duty ebooks. Call of Duty is a media juggernaut, but somehow it doesn't have many books written about it. There are some comic books about Ghost and zombies, but what about the main stories in Modern Warfare and Black Ops? Well, what if I told you there was a series of Call of Duty ebooks that has nothing to do with the video games at all? Yup, it's just a ton of ebooks available for listening on Audible, all named Call of Duty with no connection to Activision's game series at all. Cortes Dia YouTube channel. Activision launched the Cortes Dia YouTube channel to promote Black Ops 2 before its release. The plot follows Raul Menendez, a master of social media manipulation, to rally crowds of loyal followers. In-game, he creates a YouTube channel to garner support for Cortes Dia, but the real channel only had one upload 13 years ago, and was left inactive until recently. With the announcement of Black Ops 7, Activision remembered their YouTube password and posted a second video to promote the return of Menendez and Cortes Dia in the new game. Although Cortes Dia doesn't really appear at all in the game, and Menendez is just there for nostalgia bait. Well done, Activision. GK Nova 6. GKNova6.com is a website that I wouldn't go to nowadays if I were you, as we don't know who currently owns it. It could totally have a virus on it. But back in 2010, it was the home to a Black Ops alternate reality game, or ARG, or ARG. This website was chock full of Cold War iconography displayed on an old television. It also played suspicious audio files that happened to hold secret codes. This all fits in with the CIA espionage theme of COD Black Ops. These puzzles ultimately ended up being functional and required fans to decrypt them. As the messages were decoded one by one, the Black Ops reveal trailer launched and referenced this website. Following this, GKNova6.com changed entirely to tease Black Ops Zombies. Ramirez! Do everything! Modern Warfare 2's campaign is partially spent from an American perspective. You control an Army Ranger named James Ramirez, and your squad leader, Sergeant Foley, is performed by the ever-charismatic Keith David. He's a legendary voice actor featured in Halo, Rick and Morty, and more. And in Modern Warfare 2, he simply orders you to do, well, everything.
Ramirez, get over there and kill it, SOB! Ramirez, take your team and secure the Burger Town. We're gonna move Raptor over there. This location has been compromised. Ramirez, we still got hostiles near the Burger Town. We need to move!
And he always starts each command with, Ramirez! You'll hear Foley and other Army Rangers shout Ramirez throughout the game like 5,000 times. This spawned yet another famous Call of Duty meme, the Unmarked Man. This is the username of a Treyarch-run Twitter account that posted theories and ravings as if the user was within the Black Ops universe. The account was merely an ARG promoting Black Ops 3. Cut choices and ghosts. Black Ops 2 featured a lot of player choices that affect the story down the line, but Call of Duty Ghosts doesn't. It's a run-of-the-mill, linear campaign, and from my research there were no plans to add choices into the game, and the Iceberg doesn't elaborate on this. There is no telling what degree of choices this entry truly intends. Astronaut names. The astronaut zombie on Moon in Black Ops Zombies is a real pain to deal with. If one catches you, enjoy being teleported to a random part of the map with a perk just stolen from you. They have a red name tag floating above their head, which strangely is one of the host's online friends' usernames. Or in some situations, the astronaut will instead take the username of a player that the host of the lobby recently played with. This is only the case in multiplayer, as in solo lobbies, the astronaut is instead given a random name from a list of famous people and Treyarch staff. Black Ops 3 multiplayer lore. Yeah, this is a little bit creepy. Black Ops 3's multiplayer has some eerie lore that goes beyond the pretty dark story told within the campaign experience. Apparently, the 9 distinct specialist characters are all fighting within an endless combat simulation, run by a mysterious organization with potential ties to the US government. Each of the human specialists have had their conscious uploaded into a computer, and they all remain trapped in an endless warfare simulation, forever, to find the perfect soldier. This narrative can be found explained within the specialists' bios, and some of the specialists are even aware they're in a simulation. But as for their physical forms in real life, they're either all out cold, or dead, or maybe this is just a copy of them uploaded into it. It's pretty freaky stuff that all of their personalities have basically been uploaded into a computer. Alex's ghost. This theory from Modern Warfare 2019 is most definitely false. Alex and Ghost meet each other in the MW reboot series, but that didn't stop fans from speculating this before Ghost was put into the game's story. Elemental knife. This is not a weapon as much as it's just a glitched form of a weapon. To get this glitched knife yourself, hop on Origins and Black Ops 2 and follow these steps. Complete the Easter egg to acquire the Iron Fists. Enter a giant robot, cook a grenade, and die while holding one of the staffs. This bugs your character and gives you a one-hit kill knife of raw power. It is glitchy in how overpowered it is, and it's infamous for that reason. The knife itself is so powerful because it's imbued with whatever elemental staff you bonded to your Iron Fists. Price's grandfather. This theory implies that the Captain Price from the first Call of Duty games is actually Modern Warfare Captain Price's grandfather. This theory holds some weight, but I'm sure there's a good handful of men with the last name Price. And I realize I didn't really mention this earlier, but Captain Price is in the earlier Call of Duty games as a totally separate character in World War II. It's pretty insane. He's even got the same mustache. Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare crossover. Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare may just be in the same universe. For instance, in the game's strategy guide, you can glean this from the lore behind the starship central to the plot of Infinite Warfare. The Retribution's hull classification, SWC-141, was given in commemoration of the Task Force 141's actions in saving the Russian President Boris Vorshevsky in 2016. There are other connections between the game and Modern Warfare, but the shared universe theory has been debunked by one of the former narrative directors at Infinity Ward, who stated that these hints between each of the games were merely just Easter eggs, and Infinite Warfare is in a fresh, totally new universe. Favela controversy. Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer map called Favela is not only an amazing map, but it was subject to controversy in 2012. Even though the game has been out for 3 years, a fan posted this YouTube video explaining that a picture frame in the bathroom of one of the buildings has an engraving that reads, "God is beautiful and loves beauty," in Arabic. The frame's presence here is strange, considering the map takes place in Brazil. It was likely a reused asset from another part of the game, and the uploader expressed their frustration because in Islamic law, it is forbidden for Quranic verses to be within bathrooms. Activision made an official announcement, apologizing and stating that they were unaware of this issue and did not mean to offend. They temporarily removed the map from rotation while they removed the messaging, where an updated version of the map remains to this day. Fog horror movie references. Call of Duty Ghosts added a map called Fog, which is very creepy. It's got some spooky forest ambience, including a whole slew of horror movie references. There are satanic altars, ghosts, jack-o'-lanterns, as well as references to classic horror movies. Michael Myers, Jason, Friday the 13th, The Ring, Evil Dead, and more. It seems the devs had a lot of fun with this map, and they decided to just go all out with the Halloween aesthetic. CourtOptic2055.com. This is a website that has since been taken down that was used to promote Black Ops 3. Within the site's source code was a hidden password, Bluebird. If you used the password on a suspicious Tumblr site that was also associated with this mystery, it would lead you to a new site called Enhance Yourself for a Better Tomorrow. For some reason, I can't find much else on this website from my research. I suppose it was just a little teaser of some kind, but maybe anyone in the comments can elaborate more. The COD Wiki wasn't very in-depth about this website. Must have not been so memorable, to be honest. Maybe this ARG was just kind of a throwaway. Zork. The Black Ops main menu features a terminal that has full capability. But if you type in the secret code word, Zork, the terminal will launch Zork. You know, if you haven't heard of it, it's a text adventure published by Activision in 1979. This is an awesome Easter egg, and much of the game just makes me laugh considering how far gaming technology has come since this simple little text adventure. To be honest, I'm actually shocked with how many terms the game has been programmed to accept. Like when you walk up to the edge of a cliff, you can type jump, and it gives you a game over state because you fall to your death. It's genuinely comedic. Zombie Labs. Zombie Labs is a series of 2 YouTube video trailers that were developed to promote the final Black Ops DLC, Resurrection. That's Resurrection with a Z. This added the map Moon to the Zombies mode, as well as a re-release of the 4 World at War Zombies maps. And the live-action visuals and CG look insanely good. It's especially cool to see the Nova Crawler in high fidelity. This thing just looks freaky, man. Jaxaplanet. This is yet another Twitter account meant to promote Black Ops 3. It seems to be part of an overarching ARG, as it tweeted some SoundCloud links that all played strange encoded audio. You can even make out some numbers codes within these audio clips. The account itself is following the Unmarked Man on Twitter, and both users reappear within Black Ops 3 in the data vault. You can view them on a computer that has cataloged their posts on the Black Ops Universe wiki named Omnipedia. Michael Carver. Private First Class Michael Carver was a U.S. Marine that was supposed to serve alongside your player character, Paul Jackson, in the Modern Warfare campaign. He must have been cut early, as barely anything remains about his character aside from some mentions within 4 cut levels that never saw release. Lev Kravchenko in Modern Warfare 3. A photo of Lev Kravchenko from Black Ops can be seen on a corkboard in a cutscene from the mission Back on the Grid from Call of Duty MW3. This is insane because it even has a label reading his name as Lev, implying that Black Ops and Modern Warfare may have an overlap in canon. This is especially groundbreaking considering Infinity Ward's Call of Duties and Treyarch's Call of Duties rarely cross over, and I guess they sometimes do in the modern era, but back then in like the 2010s and early 2000s, they effectively never cross paths. Though the corkboard itself describes Kravchenko as a Russian ultranationalist, which I'm not sure if that's possible since he was killed in the mid-80s by Woods or Mason in the Soviet-Afghan War, meaning no ultranationalist party could have existed by then, right? Sex dolls. Yes, Mom, I did play Modern Warfare 2 when I was 9, and yes, I did remember seeing these in the game. Yep, there are blow-up sex dolls on the mission Loose Ends, and in the Spec Ops mission that features the same estate. It is common for soldiers to get lonely, and in real history, the idea of giving sex dolls to soldiers has been explored by Germany in World War II to diminish the spread of certain diseases. This is a rather tongue-in-cheek, pun intended, Easter egg from Infinity Ward. German Dance Party. In the level Underground Passage from COD Finest Hour, there's a series of tunnels, and if you follow them, you'll have to blow up some boards with grenades. This allows you to enter a room of dancing German soldiers, complete with a DJ. Murdering Rojas. Alejandro Rojas is a villain in Modern Warfare 2 that Task Force 141 chases down in Brazil. After bagging him, 141 gets vital intel on Makarov, then leaves him for dead. At the start of the mission Hornet's Nest, you can see Rojas tied up to a window cover and hooked up to a car battery. This goes to show you that TF-141 is not a stranger to torture, and is not afraid to take any means necessary to get vital information. And we're the good guys, right? When asked about leaving Rojas behind, McTavish mentions that the streets will take care of him. This is really graphic. There's even a toolkit and bloodstains on the wall. Yeesh. Here you can either leave Rojas for dead, or shoot him yourself to put him out of his misery. Medal of Honor Killer. Medal of Honor is a World War II shooter that took the world by storm in the late 90s that spawned a hit franchise in the early 2000s. When Infinity Ward began development of Call of Duty, its original codename title was Medal of Honor Killer. This implied that the company's goal was to surpass Medal of Honor in quality and popularity. The game was later renamed to Call of Duty and would serve to live up to its original name as the franchise took over the world and Medal of Honor fell more into obscurity. Modern Warfare 2 cut kill streaks. MW2's multiplayer is remembered for one-man army, intervention quickscopes, and speedruns to nuke kill streaks. However, despite having so many kill streaks already, I'm shocked to explain that the game only really has one cut kill streak we know of. Within the game's files are audio recordings announcing an MH6 Little Bird kill streak, a kill streak that ultimately never made it to the final game. Mobile games. Now we get to the good stuff. Call of Duty has released a good handful of mobile games. Call of Duty Heroes, COD Mobile, and most importantly, Call of Duty World at War and Black Ops Zombies. You can play some of the best Zombies experiences in the franchise on your iPhone or iPod Touch back in the early 2010s. It was amazing. Now I'm pretty sure I already covered these mobile Zombies games in a previous entry, but allow me to share a little personal story. I remember taking this long road trip through Central Texas where I played Doris over Bluetooth with my brother, and we had the most cracked loadouts with MG42s and a Wunderwaffe and ray guns. We were straight up stacked, but it tragically ended when I wanted to take a break and went to the home screen for like 5 seconds, and apparently our whole game session failed. Sadly, both COD Heroes and the Zombies games have since been removed from mobile app stores. I think the historians are going to remember the removal of the COD Zombies games from the App Store as the first event that sparked the downfall of society. It's the reason why life sucks now. The Art of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Book. The Art of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Book is a mouthful of a title for a little booklet full of, well, art behind the development of the game. What's strange is that I can't find much on this book documented online. I found a few Amazon and eBay listings that have since ended, but nothing more. No pictures, no details, no mention in Wikipedia or any sort of wiki anywhere. I couldn't even find it on the Call of Duty wiki. Perhaps this is just a rare piece of COD merchandise. Arsenal Sandstorm. Black Ops 4's Arsenal map is pretty standard until April 17th, 2019, where it was turned into Arsenal Sandstorm. It's basically the same map, but this time, there's a ton of sand everywhere, obscuring the view. Players reportedly hated this variant to the original map, and were frustrated that rather than receive new maps, they were getting variants to already existing maps. In September, Arsenal Sandstorm was completely removed from matchmaking, and also completely removed from the game. You could no longer play Arsenal Sandstorm in custom games either, which also disappointed fans. They were confused that it just got completely wiped. It's really bizarre to see a map get added and then subsequently completely removed from the entire game like this. I've never even heard of Call of Duty doing something like this before. AK-74U in Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer. Despite this submachine gun version of the AK-47 being present in campaign and Spec Ops, the weapon is not present in Modern Warfare 3's multiplayer. How odd. Also, yes, I'm aware that the AK-74 is not a submachine gun in real life. It's only classified as such in Call of Duty for gameplay purposes. However, I have learned that you can use this submachine gun in multiplayer on Modern Warfare 3 if you're running it in Plutonium. 115 Meteorite. Back in World at War, when Zombies lore was sparse, a large fragment of a 115 meteorite can be seen partially submerged in the swamp waters outside the boundaries of Shino Numa. This is notable since the Rising Sun facility that takes up most of the map was constructed in that swamp to experiment on the alien element, which ultimately caused a zombie outbreak on the island. Monkey Bomb in the Furnace. The Monkey Bomb is a mysterious weapon that appears to be one of Samantha's toys that has since been turned into a war crime machine. It's also most likely possessed. The tactical grenade originally came about in Der Riese from World at War. Sometimes, whenever you activate a Monkey Bomb, it will cry out, "You're not Sam." If you throw a Monkey Bomb into the furnace on Der Riese, you'll get a special Easter egg. The Monkey Bomb will cry out in pain, and after detonating, the ghostly voice of Samantha exclaims, "Why are you so cruel to Mr. Monkey? Mr. Monkey just wanted to play." This is one of the first Easter eggs in Zombies that really began to characterize Samantha, as well as the overall absurd plot and weapons in COD Zombies. Die Glocke. Oh yeah, now we're getting into some real deep cuts. Der Riese is a map with a central theme revolving around a top-secret German 935 facility that utilized 115 to produce wonder weapons, teleporters, and zombies. Call of Duty Zombies has a running trope that it likes to follow. It's the theme of evil German World War II science, you know, the stuff from Hollywood that we all know and love. But this facility in Breslau, modern-day Poland, is eerily similar to a top-secret World War II project that exists around the same region in real life. Just south of Breslau in our reality is a complex of mysterious underground bunkers called Project Riese. Within it, or somewhere nearby, was a secret German superweapon known as Die Glocke, which is German for the bell. Except there is no proof that this wonder weapon ever existed, and it is likely just a conspiracy theory. Die Glocke was allegedly a large metallic bell-shaped object that used radioactive material to either nullify gravity or warp space-time. The teleporters in Der Riese look eerily similar to Die Glocke, and a large concrete ring, known as the Hinge, is atop the real-life Project Riese. Nobody really knows what this German Stonehenge was meant for, but regardless, the Stonehenge makes its appearance in-game in the background of the map. We are going to be coming back to this Stonehenge later down in the iceberg, as well as other parts of German World War II conspiracy theories, as it is nutty and super interesting, and I'm all here for it, and this iceberg is full of that stuff. Disassembled ray gun in the labs. I don't know exactly what this is referring to. I'm pretty sure it's referencing the disassembled Winter's Howl in 5 down in the Pentagon labs, but it could easily refer to a different disassembled ray gun prop, either found on Der Riese or maybe 5, where, if that was the case, perhaps American scientists could have been trying to reverse engineer it since the weapon was made by the Germans. There's nothing I can find on this online. I checked the Call of Duty wiki, I googled it, I looked on YouTube, but I would not doubt that this little detail could be on any of the maps that have labs within them. Let me know in the comments if you know of any prop found in any of the maps that happens to be a disassembled ray gun. Ray gun level 1 trick. I have no idea which game this is referring to, but after searching on YouTube, I found you can get a ray gun in Black Ops 6 Zombies on round 1 using the vending machine on Liberty Falls. Oh, and I also found a video where someone got a round 1 ray gun in Cold War Zombies, so there's that too. Ray gun wall buy and buried. Oh, what do you know? You actually can also buy a ray gun off the wall in Black Ops 2 on round 1. To do so, you gotta do a little bit of an exploit involving a perma perk, and you can buy it on round 1 if your level in Black Ops 2 Zombies is low enough on the maps Transit, Die Rise, and Buried. I suppose this is what the last entry might have been referring to when it comes to this level 1 ray gun trick. As far as I know, you can get a round 1 ray gun in at least 3 Zombies games. PhD and Mule Kick Easter egg in MOTD. Cool fact about Mob of the Dead from Black Ops 2. Although both Mule Kick and Dr. Flopper are not available for purchase on the map, you can actually see their perk machines in the background littering some docks amongst some containers. It appears as if the devs are trying to reference that those perks are obviously left out, but didn't want to leave fans completely disappointed that the perks aren't even in the map, so kind of gave a little cheeky, hey, yeah, we know the perks aren't here, but they'll be back. Dead Ops Arcade. Dead Ops Arcade is a Zombies minigame hidden within Black Ops. If you head over to the terminal in the main menu and type in DOA or 3-Arc Unlock, then you can get the chance to play a top-down arcade shooter where you survive waves of zombies, collect weapons, vehicles, and power-ups, and attempt to rack up a high score as you quest to defeat the Cosmic Silverback. The whole time, you're going to be seeing tons of different zombie variants that aren't seen in the regular zombies mode, alongside a whole variety of unique arenas. The mere fact that Dead Ops even exists is a testament to the passion that old Treyarch had for their Call of Duty games, back when video games were full of hidden mini-games and secrets that enchanted the players who discovered them. However, Dead Ops Arcade has returned in several future Black Ops installments. World at War Cup maps. There is a surprising amount of cup maps from World at War's multiplayer, and from one website I found mentions of around 15 of them. One of them is an aircraft carrier, another is in a subway system, and there are even some larger vehicle-based maps from the Pacific Theater with cut M4 Shermans and Japanese tanks that you are supposed to be able to drive around in. Modern Warfare cut maps and content. It comes as no surprise that both COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2 have cut multiplayer maps as well. But did you know that Favela and Invasion and MW2 were originally planned for COD 4 and were ultimately cut? And shipment was also planned to be carried over to MW2 before it was ultimately cut as well. M1911 in all COD games. The notorious American M1911 handgun, chambered in 45 ACP, is present in nearly every Call of Duty release. It even makes a cameo appearance in Modern Warfare 2 in a single location that we're going to be mentioning later, despite not appearing in the rest of the entire game. The 1911 is not present in Infinite Warfare and not obtainable in Black Ops 6, Modern Warfare 2-2, or Modern Warfare 3-2, though it does appear in some form in those last two games. But this timeless pistol, or some variant of it, has been in every other Call of Duty game to my knowledge. If you know of any other Call of Duty games that don't feature an M1911 in any shape or form, feel free to let me know by dropping a comment below. Black Ops 6 skins controversy. The skins in Black Ops 6 got way out of hand. The military-adjacent theme of Call of Duty was completely ignored when the developers began adding crossover cosmetics from cartoon shows, including American Dad and Beavis and Butthead. These skins were ridiculed by fans for making the gameplay much more distracting and harder to look at. The skins were simply way out of place and jarring, not to mention absolutely hideous. It was incredibly difficult to acquire targets when random enemies are just in a completely different art style. This absolute mess of a money-grubbing crossover stands as a lesson on what not to do when crossing over universes and art styles, as fans raged so hard and made so much noise that Black Ops 7 ultimately walked back on their original plans to allow owners of these skins to bring them over to Black Ops 7. Renamed fantasy guns. Despite being set in a modern conflict, Modern Warfare 2019, and later Cold War and all COD releases until now, stopped using real weapons and began inventing fake ones. That, or they renamed real guns with some rather bizarre names. This is Activision's attempt to save money on licensing fees that they'd have to pay if they referenced real firearms. And it was a huge step forward in modern Call of Duty corner cutting that has also upset fans and led to some bizarre fantasy rifles and machine guns entering the franchise. Examples include how the M9 pistol was redesigned to become the Renetti, and the MP5 is now called the Lockman Sub, with noticeable cosmetic differences, Boom Juice. There are unused perk voice lines from Black Ops' game files that have the Ultimus crew referring to a so-called Boom Juice. Now, this is either a cut perk from Ascension, or it could have been an old name for the perk that eventually became Dr. Flopper.
Boom Juice! Hell yeah, that drink is made just for me!
Prone Aid. Prone Aid is another scrapped perk that the Zombies crew references in the same audio files from Ascension. This perk allegedly would have potentially affected the player's jump or prone in some manner. There are also other cut perks mentioned within the audio file that don't appear anywhere on the Iceberg, so I figured I'd put that out there so you know that quite a few perks did get cut from Ascension. Default Weapon. The default weapon is a secret weapon, well, I use the term weapon loosely, that appears in all of the Call of Duty games that were built on Infinity Ward's Quake 3 engine branch. This is just a fancy way to describe the old Call of Duty engine. In games where the default weapon was present, players could equip it using console commands and shoot invisible, noiseless bullets out of their right hand as if it was a gun. You could even aim down sights down your finger gun, kind of. It's really goofy. I kind of wish there was an Easter egg in the campaign where you could, like, get this finger gun, so to speak. Black Ops 2 cut game modes. 2 game modes hit the cutting room floor in Black Ops 2. Purgatory and Hacker. Purgatory has players respawning their teammates by killing enemies, and Hacker has teams hacking ground drones to kill the enemy team with them, with both teams fighting over these drones in a sort of tug-of-war styled game mode. Fake Black Ops 5 leaks. Now this is interesting, and it happens very often in gaming, not just in Call of Duty. It appears that many fans thought Black Ops 6 would initially be named Black Ops 5. Now this isn't hard to believe, as although Cold War was the 5th Black Ops game, it didn't have a 5 in the title. And additionally, some leakers spread misinformation about the game's release as well. But many of these leakers were ultimately correct in predicting a 2024 Black Ops sequel. Peacekeeper. The Peacekeeper is a Black Ops 2 submachine gun added with the first DLC pack. This caused a ton of controversy as fans were angered at a paid gun being added to the game. This submachine gun was sort of a bridge between assault rifles and SMGs, which is probably the reason why the weapon returned in Black Ops 7 as an assault rifle. The Peacekeeper Mark II also appeared in Black Ops 3 and 4 as an altered assault rifle variant of the original submachine gun. Captain Price was an American. Infinity Ward released a fake review video of Modern Warfare created by Putin. Yeah, Vladimir Putin, you know, the president of Russia. Captain Price is depicted in American camouflage among Marines in the Middle East. This implies that either Captain Price was working with the Americans or he was an American soldier. We got confirmation when Infinity Ward's art director confirmed that Price was originally supposed to fight as an American Marine with a boonie hat. Things changed when he was later switched to the SAS and turned into a British man, but he still kept his signature boonie hat, but this time came with a really good British voice actor. Care package stacking. Not only could you crush your friends or yourself with care packages, but you could even stack them on top of each other and build little Jenga towers. From what I could find on the internet, this seemed to have been a little trend on YouTube back in the old Black Ops days when the game was first released in 2010. Nicki Minaj controversy. Oh yeah, this is a classic. Modern Warfare 2.2 added a new skin to the game. For only $20 American, you could play as Nicki Minaj and bedazzle your guns and cars with a glossy pink coating. This skin was the source of tons of controversy as fans criticized how gaudy the entire package was. And a lot of them were just mad because it felt so out of place in a military shooter. Not to mention it was the price of like 3 or 4 high-quality indie games. $20 is quite a bit of money. It's a third of the cost of the game Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 itself. This ultimately marked the beginning of the end for controversial Call of Duty monetization as things kept getting worse and worse from this moment. And we'll see more of this Call of Duty controversy later on the iceberg. Modern Warfare 2 Remastered Balloon Easter Egg. I believe this is a reference to an Easter egg in the first mission of Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. In SSDD, you can find a Barrett sniper rifle with 3 rounds. There are 3 clowns hidden in the background of the map, and if you snipe them all, you earn the achievement Clown in Training. Shadows of Evil Round 15 skip. In Black Ops 3, on Shadows of Evil, you can skip to round 5, 10, or 15 at the start of the match. All you gotta do is shoot the Shadow Man in the starting area. If you manage to survive any of these challenges, you will be awarded with a ton of points that scales based on the amount of rounds you skipped. Black Ops 2 Transit Boss. An electric entity, known as Avogadro, chases players around the map periodically on the map Transit after you craft the power switch and turn it on. Initially, Treyarch planned that Avogadro would attack players immediately after power was flipped on, and players would be forced to evade death by returning to the bus where a boss battle would ensue. This is very different than final release. Ghost Staring. This is a classic reaction image from Modern Warfare 2.2, and it's coincidentally the best thing to have come out of Modern Warfare 2.2. MW Pirated. The Iceberg explains that most Modern Warfare 2007 sales were pirated, but dude, there's no evidence of this information. However, a lot of copies were pirated, as is usual with video games. but I wouldn't argue that any more significant number of pirated copies exist than any other game. The author could be implying that modern copies of the game have been pirated as the game was abandoned on Steam, but I'm not too sure about that. Speedruns. As is normal for video games, there is a vibrant speedrun community for campaign and zombies. Mom, get the camera! Again, Modern Warfare 2 is just legendary. Like, you had to be there. You just had to be there for Modern Warfare 2. When I was growing up, the game was a viral sensation and was also, like, the best game that was out at the time. I'm not even joking. Modern Warfare 2 was an absolute internet and real-life sensation, to be honest. Everybody was playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It had the elite, perfect roster of guns. It had an amazing roster of maps. I don't think there was a bad map on there. A goated campaign, a perfect Spec Ops mode. Like, you had to be there for Modern Warfare 2. It was a sensation, dude. And the culture surrounding the game was downright hilarious. I'm gonna be real. Like, it was goofy. Skill-based matchmaking. This is a mechanic that took form in Modern Warfare 2019 and plagued Call of Duty up until the recent Black Ops 7. It is fairly controversial, and for good reason. In an attempt to force even, fair matches and a perfect 50-50 win rate, players would be put into highly competitive lobbies, and if they got smashed by players of insanely high skill, they would instantly be placed into a lobby full of potatoes and bots who are just easy pushovers. The effect would be that a player would never really feel good at the game, since half the time they're completely getting dunked on by getting thrown into an extremely high skill bracket, and the other half the time they're not even trying and catching 40 bombs and feel like they didn't earn it. A lot of Call of Duty fans and average casual players alike really hate SBMM, me included. It really got bad starting in Modern Warfare 2019, which is part of the reason why people like to refer to the older Call of Duties as the golden era, and everything started in Modern Warfare 2019 on as the skill-based matchmaking era. It got so bad, and Battlefield 6 was a game that seemingly removed skill-based matchmaking, and it seemed to really gun for the Call of Duty audience, to the point where Treyarch decided that Black Ops 7 had to ditch SBMM for the old style of matchmaking. This was, of course, one of the great things that came about thanks to Battlefield 6's beta getting such a positive reception and Black Ops 7 being so dumpstered. There's something great about the story of Black Ops 7. I think the fact that Battlefield 6 exists makes me happy because not only is Battlefield 6 a lot of fun, but it also challenged Call of Duty to be a better game. And I'd say that Black Ops 7 would have been a complete disaster. Its multiplayer would have been an absolute travesty full of SBMM and terrible carryover skins from Black Ops 6 if they didn't turn these problems around. So kudos to Treyarch for that little win. Activision, you better not put SBMM back in. And I've been seeing the news. I see Activision, if you do this, if you put SBMM back into the game, everyone's gonna quit Call of Duty. Like, don't do that, dude. Noob 2. Ah, yes. The get out of jail free card. An attachment for assault rifles and many Call of Duty games is the underslung grenade launcher. In most of the games, it's fairly useless or kinda alright, but in the older titles, especially Modern Warfare 2, the grenade launchers were overpowered. The blast radius, range, and damage output assured easy kills, causing enraged fans to dub it the noob tube, considering it takes no skill to easily blow players up from across the map with it. And like I mentioned earlier, some players are just completely egregious to the point where they would replace their secondary weapon with one-man army so they could just refill their grenade launcher grenades anytime they ran out, so they could send another hail of artillery over the cliff on Afghan without end. Copy that. Oh yeah, this is one of the most commercials of all time. Take a look.
Whoa, hey guys, welcome to EB Games.
Call of Duty. Advanced Warfare.
Xbox One.
Copy that.
Safety $10 on
Black Ops 4 muddy textures. Black Ops 4's graphics were subject to a lot of criticism. Fans believed that the game looked fairly ugly, and I remember myself, when I played Black Ops 4, it had really poor, ugly textures. Like, everything looked like Play-Doh on split screen. You see, this was a magical era where you could play Blackout, the first Call of Duty Battle Royale mode, with a friend on couch co-op. Now, this was awesome, but because the map was so huge, the textures had to be insanely muddied to allow the game to run properly. Now, was Black Ops 4 generally muddy and kind of ugly looking when you were playing solo? If you weren't playing split screen, did it look better? I'm not too sure. I only played it split screen, so maybe someone in the chat or the comments or whatever they call the comment section anymore, maybe y'all can tell me down below that Black Ops 4 was hideous, or maybe everyone was just overreacting back then. Unnamed Marines. In World at War, before the Ultimus crew of Richtofen, Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takeo, there were the Unnamed Marines. They are blank slate player characters that are present in Nocturne Untoten, the very first zombies map. The characters have no voice lines and just silently engage zombies. This always made Noct feel a bit creepier to me, how silent everything was. There was no comic relief like what came about starting in Verrucht. But anytime this map was remade, the Ultimus crew would return to take the place of the Marines instead. Now we enter level 3. This is where everything begins to get very strange and harder to decipher. The Museum. The Museum is an odd but fun bonus level at the end of Modern Warfare 2. There are 3 rooms. 2 of the rooms hold exhibits for each of the major plot moments throughout the story, complete with cases of all the weapons throughout the game. And then there's a strange 3rd vehicle room. In the 2 rooms full of characters, there's a red bell that you can ring. Upon doing so, the entire room of characters springs to life, and all of the exhibit characters attack the player in this Night at the Museum scenario. You can clear out each of these rooms as long as you please, as each of the characters will respawn. Or you can just insta-kill the characters while they're frozen in place. That's up to you. Custom maps. Thanks to mod tools, World at War had tons of custom zombies maps that lent to a ton of underground Call of Duty nostalgia. I remember messing with these tools myself and watching a ton of videos on YouTube on some really creative custom zombies levels. My personal favorite video I remember was this beautiful tropical island called Zombie Island. Man, I got tons of nostalgia skipping school and watching this video when I was sick once. Those were the days, man. Oh yeah, and I mentioned that I messed around with the tools myself. Figured I'd mention one time while I was in college, I decided I'm just going to make my apartment within the zombies mode. And you spawn in where you'd sit in my room at my computer desk. It was kind of like some Inception stuff. It was pretty funny. Director's Cut. Infinite Warfare Zombies. I have absolutely zero nostalgia for you as I played you like one time. Whatever. Infinite Warfare Zombies has a movie set theme to it, which explains why upon completing all the main Easter egg puzzles on every map, you unlock a special mode called Director's Cut. With this active, players receive tons of rewards in-game. Free points, free upgraded weapons, and even tons of unlockable player calling cards are available for unlock. Blackout. Dang, I'm surprised this one is so low. We've already talked about Blackout, so let's instead talk about the Blackout Easter eggs. The World at War Verrucht Zombies map returns as a location of interest on the map. This is the thing I remember most from Blackout, because it comes complete with zombie NPCs that add just a little extra spice to what could have otherwise been a basic Battle Royale mode. You can flush the same far left toilet in the showers of Verrucht to play the Lullaby for a Dead Man Easter egg, which is the same trick done to play the song from the original Verrucht map. The Blightfather makes a return on this map as well, alongside the Shadows of Evil boxing gym, a painting of the Wolf King from Der Eisendrache, and even more Easter eggs scattered across the map, including Nuketown. Yeah, Nuketown's on the map. It's cool. It's just an awesome map, to be honest with you. It's kind of an homage to all of Black Ops. With all that being said, please bring back Blackout. Replace that garbage Warzone noise with the real Call of Duty Battle Royale, and just, I will buy it immediately. I will buy it right now. Blackout, I didn't play enough of it. It was awesome. Also, remove the whole custom loadout thing. No one wants that in Battle Royale, dude. The fun is getting the guns on the map and trying your hardest with them. Modern Warfare 2019 baby level. Okay, well, this iceberg is very vague because this could be referring to two different things. It could either be the experimental campaign mission where you play as a very young child, Farah Karim, where you're fighting off a brutal Russian invasion of Urzikstan, or it could be that aforementioned Easter egg where you're sent back to the menu if you shoot the baby and clean house 3 times in a row. Which, the fact that we know that that Easter egg exists, I never tried it. I couldn't shoot the baby. I couldn't bring myself to do it. But the fact that we know it exists just tells me how people played this game. But since we already talked about the shoot the baby Easter egg, or you could also flashbang the baby and that'll happen. There's actually a speed run. Okay, I'm getting off topic. There's a speed run to flashbang the baby on Clean House. I'm not even kidding. All right, goofy world records aside, we've already talked about the shoot the baby, flashbang the baby, whatever the baby. We've talked about that enough. Let's talk about that strange little campaign level where you play as a kid. Since we play as a child, fighting the Russian soldiers who occupy our home is far harder than if we were an adult. Screwdrivers and other tools take multiple hits to down a single enemy soldier. And in the end of the mission, we are forced to use a .357 revolver to shoot enemies. But since we're very small and weak, the animations and controls are sluggish and hard to get a grip around. This mission is called Hometown, and it came as a shock to the player base when they reached it for the first time themselves. And one thing I really do like about Modern Warfare 2019's campaign, and to be honest with you, I actually do like the campaign of this game. It's actually pretty good. Alongside this baby level, you play as a younger, more young adult Farah Karim, who is obviously inexperienced with firearms, so the reload animations are like very sloppy for the AK and the other weapons. I gotta say, it's a really cool feature, and that shows attention to detail was put into the campaign. Hidden W1200 and M1911 Modern Warfare 2. The M1911 pistol is not available in Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, campaign, or Spec Ops, except for the bonus museum level. This is the only place in the entirety of Modern Warfare 2 that you can use the 1911. Otherwise, it is seen held by NPCs. The Winchester 1200 shotgun faced a similar fate. Though both it and the 1911 came from COD 4, they both only appear within the museum level, but the shotgun can only be found in the hands of one of the NPCs. If the TF-141 operative in the Arctic scene dies while holding it, you can pick it up for yourself and use it to your heart's content. Suffer with me. One of the biggest moments in Call of Duty's campaigns. The mission Suffer With Me from Black Ops 2 is infamous, as it is the level where Woods is ordered to execute a masked Raul Menendez. You know, the main villain of the game. Except, if you shoot your target, it's revealed to actually have been Alex Mason, the hero of Black Ops 1. The sadness and depravity gets worse as the mission ends in the brutal, graphic execution of Hudson and Mason's son grieving over his father's dead body. This level absolutely wrecks my emotions. The voice acting and performances of everyone here sell this terrible tragedy that occurred at a remote port during the American invasion of Panama. But what if there were clues along the way? Depending on your decisions throughout the campaign, characters will give hints that perhaps the Nexus target is not Menendez, and this whole execution is a ruse.
Confirm visual.
He even has people in the CIA.
If you interrogate Kravchenko successfully, his voice warning the player that Menendez has people in the CIA will ring out in Woods' head as he's about to pull the trigger. If Mason finds the CIA dossier in Menendez's compound as it burns down, Woods and Mason will acknowledge this fact earlier in the level.
There was a CIA memo in Menendez's compound. There's something else going on here, Woods.
If the player uses those clues to instead shoot Mason in the leg, Mason will survive and reunite with his good friend Woods in the end credits of the game. The name of this level comes from Menendez's quote when he whispers to David Mason, "Suffer with me," after he has his father killed by Woods, or not killed by Woods. He could be fake dead depending on your actions. Either way, it's a very infamous mission, and I doubt many of y'all knew all of the details and different little Easter eggs that come into this mission depending on your choices throughout the entire campaign. UFO House. In Call of Duty Finest Hour, on the mission Come Out Fighting, you can find a Nazi UFO within a house alongside some health packs. This is yet another reference in the Call of Duty franchise to German science experiment conspiracies, one of which that blew up during like the 70s and 80s was the fabled German World War II UFO experiments. They lack any sort of documentation or validity, but they've since been enshrined in popular culture. But again, to this day, since the 50s when flying saucer mania was all over the news, there's no evidence that the Nazis had UFOs, and if they had any, I'm sure we would have either found some by now or understood more about their research. So, yeah. However, I will say that the Germans were the first to develop jet fighter aircraft, which is probably part of the reason why this whole UFO conspiracy theory took root so well back in the day in the first place. Sultan Room. Once again, in Finest Hour, in the level Depot Saboteurs, there is a secret room that you can enter by blowing up some doors with grenades. Within it is a ghostly Arabic guitar player of some kind. Although I wouldn't go calling it a guitar, it's more of like a Middle Eastern string instrument that is reminiscent of a guitar. Secret Wall. Well, what do you know? Another Finest Hour secret room. This time, phase through a wall on the Come Out Fighting mission and enter a room with a bottle of wine atop a giant chair. There's some free health packs if you need them too. And the weirdest part of this room is the little tiny door at the end of the room that only someone as small as a mouse could fit through. A creepy green glow emanates from beyond this door for unexplained reasons. It's a really surreal little room of giant furniture and tiny doors. American propaganda. Many people like to say online that Call of Duty is Western-centric American propaganda. And to be honest with you, considering the developers are American, and it references a lot of American films produced by Hollywood, there's likely a little bit of truth to that, with the Americans rarely being the villains in Call of Duty outside a few betrayals here and there. While we control Western characters going on rampages against Eastern Europeans or Middle Eastern groups, or in the case of COD Ghosts, the entirety of Latin America, Call of Duty has gotten to some point where, although the narratives are loved, they're seen as a bit of a self-parody, American patriotism glorification simulator. I mean, I see it. They're a little goofy and very Hollywood. Black Ops 4 multiplayer lore. Despite having no campaign, BO4's multiplayer still has lore. Each of the specialists have their own background stories that can be experienced in each of the little story missions found within the Specialist HQ mode. Some of the specialists appear across both BO4 and BO3. And their stories vary between both games, and there's even little cinematics where you can learn more about each of the characters. Blackout itself was a CIA project started by Savannah Mason, David Mason's daughter, to hand-select elite warriors. This project also brought back many notable fighters from the dead in the form of the archetypes. You know, Black Ops characters including Mason, Woods, and Reznov. But most of the lore is pretty thin and doesn't really go anywhere, aside from Black Ops 3 having that whole simulation thing. Also, apparently Savannah started dating the resurrected Woods, and Menendez oversaw Project Blackout for some reason. Even though Menendez was an enemy of the United States, he's in charge of the Battle Royale mode. Why? The lore of Black Ops 4's multiplayer is completely goofy and makes absolutely zero sense. Shangri-La on Mars. Did you know the COD Zombies map, Shangri-La, is actually on another planet entirely? There's a popular zombies theory that posits Shangri-La is actually on Mars and not on Earth at all. Fans believe that the shape of the moon casting an eclipse on the sun is not round, and more closely resembles one of Mars' moons, specifically Phobos. When modders dug into the texture files as well, they found Mars in the texture file names, and the Shangri-La temple itself has time travel capabilities. Perhaps Shangri-La and the surrounding jungles traveled to another planet completely. This gives lots of credibility to the theory that Shangri-La is on Mars, but nothing has ever been confirmed about this by Treyarch. Giant Cow. In United Offensive, on the level Crossroads, you can find a giant cow with a giant bell by using cheats, adding to the list of cow Easter eggs. I think I mentioned this one earlier in the cows mention. I think it's a reference to the whole more cowbell meme. Knocking. Okay, the Iceberg does not elaborate on this entry at all. However, it is marked red, giving a hint that it's about the zombies mode. This means it's gotta be the Call of the Dead door-knocking Easter egg. More specifically, the main quest from the map. So on the map Call of the Dead, there's a large steel door underneath the lighthouse, and if you get close to it, you can hear a loud knocking sound. This Easter egg has players talking through a door that houses the Ultimus crew on the other side, trapped and unable to carry on without assistance from the players. You gotta give them vodka, a golden rod, disable some generators, and then the crew teleports onwards to Shangri-La and leaves you with a Wunderwaffe. This Easter egg is awesome in that, well, first of all, I remember pulling it off like 14 years ago when I was a kid, and the second thing that makes it even cooler is the fact that you get a wonder weapon not available anywhere in the map aside from this Easter egg. You get access to the Wunderwaffe when there is only, I believe, the Scavenger and the VR-11, as well as the ray gun. Those are the wonder weapons, which are fairly mediocre on this map. Although I still love the Scavenger. It has its own issues, though. Dentist Chair Ghost. Whew, this is a spooky one. There are a few instances of dentist chairs in COD Zombies. In Verrucht, the freakiest zombies map ever, if you hit the interact button near the dentist chair in one of the starting rooms, you can hear a drilling sound and a ghostly scream. This same dentist chair returns in Black Ops in a hellish operating room, and while you can't hear the same screaming, you will hear that creepy drilling sound. Prison Break Monkey. On the Ghosts map Prison Break, there is a monkey near the Federation spawn. Mason killed JFK. President John F. Kennedy makes a few appearances in the story of Call of Duty Black Ops, and his real-life assassination builds up the most chilling twist in the entire franchise. Alex Mason was captured in Cuba after the Bay of Pigs incident went wrong. He was sent to Vorkuta, where he was experimented on. The Soviets attempted to brainwash him into a sleeper agent that would follow the orders of Russian number station codes. Mason's primary order? Assassinate Kennedy alongside Lee Harvey Oswald. While it seems Reznov broke Mason's original programming, the ending scene of Black Ops shows us that it may not have been enough.
Ascension.
This implies that our player character killed the president and completely forgot about it. That's chilling. And even further, when you have your final fight with Dragovich, he even tells you, as soon as Mason says, "You tried to get me to kill my own president," he replies with, "Tried?" Nah, this game's twist is insane, dog. Hadir is Al-Assad. There's a theory of sorts that Khalid al-Assad is an umbrella identity for Hadir in the Modern Warfare reboot trilogy. Hadir was nicknamed the Little Lion, and coincidentally, al-Assad is nicknamed the Immortal Lion. Additionally, both characters were freed by Zakhaev for the furthering of Zakhaev's plans, and both became high-ranking members of Al-Qatala. Even further, in a cutscene, al-Assad calls Price an old friend. It is likely that Hadir was planned to become Al-Assad in the rebooted games, but this was never fully explored or explained in-game. C. Miller becomes a CIA agent. Private C. Miller is the Marine raider you control in the World at War Pacific campaign. In Black Ops, in an opening cutscene for USDD, a brief shot of Mason's polygraph test is shown. And who gave Mason that lie detector test? C. Miller. After World War II, he must have joined the CIA and became a security agent, which is only seen here in this little Easter egg. Knocked Music Radio. The first music and radio Easter egg in Zombies appears on the very first map. In Nocturne Toten, by the mystery box, you can knife or shoot a small radio. This will cause it to start playing music from the soundtrack. Giant Red Apple. Oh, dude, this Easter egg sounds awesome. There's a massive red apple around a mountain opposite of the direction you're supposed to go in within the mission Operation Little Saturn. If you drive through it with your tank, there's a UFO inside the apple, as well as a ton of German soldiers with Panzerschrecks. This Easter egg is very bizarre and kind of surrealist, but it sounds cool since enemies actually spawn inside that you can fight. Combined Forces. Call of Duty Combined Forces was a proposed sequel to Finest Hour that was cancelled due to its planned $10.5 million budget. Sabertooth Chainsaw. The Sabertooth Chainsaw is a removed weapon from Black Ops Zombies. The weapon itself can be found in the files, complete with animations and an unfinished model. Modders have since determined that there are actual stats for the weapon as well as an ammo reserve of $9.99. Ever since this weapon was found in the files, modders have since brought it to life and given it full functionality in their own custom maps. Rust and Advanced Warfare. There's a small recreation of Modern Warfare 2's iconic Rust map, out of bounds on an Advanced Warfare map called Compound. Other survival modes. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was the first game in the series to add a survival mode, right? Well, actually, the Nintendo DS game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Mobilized, a title with 2 colons, introduced an online co-op survival mode way back in 2009. But there are other games that offer renditions of survival modes themselves, including COD Strike Team, COD Online, and COD Heroes. There's also the Extinction mode from Call of Duty Ghosts, but I never really played any of these aside from MW3's survival mode and Extinction for like 1 or 2 matches. Although I will say, Modern Warfare 3's survival mode is one of my favorite experiences in the entire franchise, and was so much fun on split-screen co-op back when I was a kid. Trump Tower and Modern Warfare 3. Okay, so the entry originally says Trump Tower and Modern Warfare 2, and I couldn't find anything about Trump Tower in the second Modern Warfare. I couldn't find it on the wiki, or YouTube, or anything. I thought maybe it might be a meme video or an Easter egg. Who knows? But to my knowledge, Modern Warfare 2 does not take place around any of the real-life locations of Trump buildings at all. However, I'm pretty sure this is a typo, because Modern Warfare 3 does partially take place in New York. And in fact, on the multiplayer map Hard Hat, the Trump building, specifically 40 Wall Street, is visible in the background. Also in the campaign, on the mission Black Tuesday, the player uses a Predator missile to bomb Russian infantry atop a couple of rooftops. The COD Wiki explains that one of these buildings is one of the Trump buildings, because there's more than just one Trump tower. In fact, there's even a lot of Trump buildings that are just named after Trump but aren't officially a Trump tower. But there's no mention of this Trump building in game, so I'm not sure how legitimate this part of the Iceberg entry is, and I don't plan on cross-referencing real Trump buildings with the models in game, especially since they can be textured or modeled differently. Berlin Wall and Kino. Okay, I added this because if you look down the alleyway next to Double Tap Root Beer, out through the fence window, you can see the Berlin Wall and a tower outside the map. I love this little detail. Not just because it implies that the map takes place during the Cold War, much like the rest of Black Ops, but it's just really cool, and I don't see a whole lot of people bringing this detail up. Wet Work in Modern Warfare 2. Wet Work is a Modern Warfare 2 special ops mission that takes place on the same oil rig from the campaign, and it's notoriously difficult on harder difficulties. The mission is to liberate hostages across the rig while fighting off hordes of Russian soldiers. It is infamously difficult, and I remember struggling just to get 3 stars on it as a grown adult. Worse yet, it's a long level. It's practically the whole campaign mission, in length at least. And if you manage to fumble the final hostage scene and accidentally shoot a hostage or don't take out all the Russians, you go all the way back to the start. Hooray. Editor Nikos here. This Iceberg entry isn't actually referring to the Spec Ops mission itself, but instead, it's referring to a different Spec Ops mission. So, there's a Call of Duty 4 campaign mission called Wet Work. I know, same name. A lot of things in Call of Duty are named the exact same thing. Well, the cargo ship that the mission takes place on is actually present on the Spec Ops mission from Modern Warfare 2 called Suspension. The ship is out in the middle of the river that the bridge spans across. Holland campaign. Call of Duty World at War splits its campaign across 2 locations, the Pacific Theater on Japanese-held islands, and the European Eastern Front from Stalingrad to Berlin. But did you know there was originally a planned Holland campaign that was set to take place in the snowy forests of the Netherlands? In the game files, modders have found 3 unnamed levels complete with scripts and textures. This mini Holland campaign had the player and their fellow allied soldiers dressed as Germans to sneak behind enemy lines and cause chaos. There's also a cut 4th level in this whole package of Holland missions, a different one, called Fallschirmjäger, that we know next to nothing about, but we can theorize about it. Perhaps the player would have controlled a German paratrooper based on the title. I wish these levels were finished, or maybe released as DLC, as the campaign was so good that I wish World at War had even more levels. It would have made it even better. Santa in Call of Duty. On the map Winter Docks from Modern Warfare 2019, you can trigger an Easter egg that sends Santa flying over the map in his sleigh. Jessica Mason is Spectre. Alright, so Spectre is an anonymous, masked specialist in Black Ops 4. Jessica Mason is Mason's daughter. She is one of the main characters in the Black Ops 4 lore, and after suffering a traumatic injury from a gunshot to the jaw in a firefight, she has to use a voice modulator to speak. Similarly, Spectre uses a voice modifier as well, though Spectre has what sounds like a more masculine voice. So this theory is a little bit paper thin, but I have to give credence to the fact that I think video game theories are really cool, and it's fun to thought craft sometimes. But I will say, in the infected mode, Spectre turns into a male zombie, which implies he couldn't be Jessica. While Spectre's identity is still unknown, some fans propped up this theory as Jessica was missing for most of the story, and very well could have been working alongside the other protagonists, under a disguise for some time. Useless minigun. There's a Modern Warfare 3 map named Lookout that has a lot of little unique Easter eggs and features to it. For one thing, there's a dead cow by a minefield that if you step into it, you just instantly explode. So it prevents you from breaking out the map. But Lookout is a tiny little map that is jam-packed full of all these features, including a couple of miniguns overlooking, well, just a mountain valley that's out of bounds. You can't really use these miniguns to kill any of the players, but they're fully functional and you can just shoot off into nothing. So, I don't know, it's just a really cool little detail that's been included on the Iceberg, and usually these turrets are more useful. The Frozen Forest. The Frozen Forest is a fantastical, neurological landscape where individuals can exist after they die. It was created by the main villain of Black Ops 3, Corvus. The snowfall is in reverse, falling upwards into the sky. And this is where the psychedelic narrative of the game's story comes to a head. Modern Warfare 2 Remaster ban. As is expected, Call of Duty games are not always available everywhere due to their use of controversial material. In this case, Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered is not for sale in Russia on the PlayStation Store for its No Russian mission. Interestingly, the game has been amended to restrict controversial material, with Germany and Japan receiving an altered version of No Russian, where harming civilians gives you a failure state. Also, unrelated, but I found it while Googling for this entry right here, some players reported being banned from the second Modern Warfare game, but not the second Modern Warfare. I mean the second Modern Warfare, not the remaster, not Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, the first Modern Warfare 2's remaster. I mean the first Modern Warfare 2, I mean the reboot of the Modern Warfare series, so the sequel to the first Modern Warfare game. I'm getting lost in my own speech, but dude, Infinity Ward, why did you name two trilogies the exact same thing? Like, why do we have two Modern Warfare 2s, 3s, and 1s? It is insanely confusing. And you guys might be going, okay, bro, why are you ranting about this right now? Like, this is such a nothing burger. You have no idea how hard it has been to research for this video. Whenever I see an entry that says Modern Warfare 2, I'm like, is this the reboot or is this the original? And Google keeps throwing random things at me, which is why when I looked up the Modern Warfare 2 remaster ban, Google showed me people complaining about the Modern Warfare 2 reboot banning them for no reason. And I gotta be honest with you guys, dude, this video sucked to research. It was so bad. Tactics. Call of Duty Tactics is a cancelled strategy game that was being developed by Vicarious Visions. Not much remains from this game, however, somehow there's been a leaked prototype build of the game with gameplay footage that surfaced on the web, which you can find through the Call of Duty wiki. Vietnam game. Black Ops partially takes place in Vietnam and Southeast Asia, but back in the early 2010s, Sledgehammer Games was working on a third-person Call of Duty game that was set entirely in Vietnam and Cambodia. The game was in development for 8 months, and the concept art looks pretty awesome, but the game was pretty much just shelved when Activision requested Sledgehammer help Infinity Ward finish Modern Warfare 3. Later, in January of 2011, the action-adventure Vietnam game was confirmed to have been cancelled, and it has not seen the light of day since. But I have to ask, why third person? For what reason was there a perspective change? I always thought Call of Duty was loved because it was first person. I don't know, beats me. Probably just the typical Sledgehammer magic. LOL Ghosts. So this is a weird name. LOL Ghosts, what does that mean? Well, guess what? In Ghost Extinction mode, on the map Point of Contact, if you snipe the letters LOL on the motel sign, LOL will flash on screen in neon blue and purple text. And for some time after that, aliens you kill will explode into glowing gold alien plushes, which is just a little fun Easter egg. As soon as the Easter egg runs out, you can just reinitiate it and do the LOL Easter egg all over again. Cursed Guns. Thanks to the wonky attachments and customization brought about by the gunsmith from modern Call of Duty games, you too can craft a stockless, short-barreled magazine-fed M1 Garand with a telescope on top of your rifle. Fans have shared their disgustingly cursed creations around the web in viral videos. I remember back when my friends and I were playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, we were using the gunsmith to make the most atrocious and terrible weapons of all time. Like, we tried to max out the recoil and just plummet the accuracy, and we made some horrific abominations. You should have seen them. Devil's Brigade. Devil's Brigade is a cancelled third-person shooter set in Italy during World War II. The developer, known as Underground Development, had planned this Call of Duty game to be a sort of squad shooter, where you can use the D-pad to command your team, similar to Republic Commando. Not much remains from the development of this lost game. Pied Piper. In the Modern Warfare reboot, on the Cheshire Park map, if you destroy 5 mousetraps and place a cheese wheel on the Pied Piper statue, the statue will emit a little tune, and a ton of rats will circle the statue before exploding into rainbow splatters. This is a reference to the Pied Piper legend where a rat catcher played on his magical flute to gather rats together. Roman Wars. Oh, this one's so obscure and insane. So, a former employee at Activision proposed a Roman War-themed Call of Duty game back in 2008. And there's even some limited gameplay of it available online that you can watch if you'd like. I'm going to read the wiki entry here because I could not do the description of this game any better justice. The player would have been a member of the 10th Legion, Julius Caesar's elite force of troops. Weapons would have included bows and arrows, spears, and shields, as well as the ability to throw sand at enemies. Limited gameplay shows a level that would have been set during the Battle of Alesia. The player would have had the ability to ride an elephant, acting like a tank in a way. So yeah, this description is so goofy. It's like, I kind of wish Call of Duty Roman Warfare existed, because it sounds downright hilarious, and I could see just parodies of Modern Warfare plastered onto this medieval game. Looks so hilarious. Like, I wonder if kill streaks would have included summoning a swarm of locusts like you're in the Bible. Or maybe if you racked up 25 kills, you could deploy the Black Plague to end the game. Anyway, the game was cancelled and never seriously developed, which really sucks because I always wanted to unlock a red dot sight for my spear. Jump scares. This entry refers to a series of Easter eggs that are more obscure in the Zombies mode. If you aim in on certain parts of some of the Zombies maps with a sniper rifle, you'll get a delightful little jump scare. There's a few other types of jump scares as well, but this is the most common one. Dr. Monty and remastered maps. Dr. Monty makes appearances in the remastered Zombies maps in Black Ops 3. Now you might be wondering, how could this be possible? These original maps released in World at War, Black Ops, and Black Ops 2 far before Monty's character was created. Well, in the Black Ops 3 remake of these maps, the developers threw in some radios that featured Dr. Monty. And that's it for part 1 of the video. Again, part 2 is in the works and will be here very soon. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe. Special thanks to all our channel members and patrons. You guys are the best. You have done so much to make this channel possible. So anyway, if you'd like to support the channel even more, feel free to hit up those links, and I'll catch you in the future. See ya.